If you've ever been extremely excited for the start of the Ryder Cup, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Folks, welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Today is going to be the Thursday, September 25th edition. We're going to cover all of the market-moving news. We've got a big data print coming up here today, and we have a new segment to premiere here today, Futures Forward. Cannot wait to get this all done with you. Futures are under pressure here, and it is accelerating to the downside, it looks like. Strap in, folks. We are going to have a busy Thursday. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Thursday, September 25th edition, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. It is great to see a whole bunch of returning faces out there. I hope that you all had a wonderful Wednesday evening. I sure hope that you all had a better Wednesday evening than the Detroit Tigers because, oh my God, what a collapse. Sorry to see it. A lot of my friends are Tigers fans, and it's sad. It's really, really sad. But I hope that you all had a better evening. We're back, and we've got a lot of stuff to do today. Let's just get right to it. Zach, good morning. EVAX news popping. We'll take a look at EVAX here today. Remember, 13 is going to be in the chat helping you break down these movers during our futures segment that we have here this morning. Zach is also first here today, so early bird gets the worm. Good stuff, Zach. Francis, good morning. Welcome back. EKS, it's great to see you again. Kathy Woods, ARK Invest adds Alibaba, Baidu, and lowers holdings in AMD. A little bit of rotation into Chinese tech there. EKS, good morning. Marty, good morning. If you've ever watched someone stub their toe and then laughed, hit that like button. Marty, I like that one. I've done that. Stubbing your toe sucks, and I've been the jerk that's laughed at somebody else. I admit. Hopefully nobody stubbed their toe here today. Crim Biscuit, good morning. Welcome back. Tom, good morning. Welcome back. Good to see you. Billy, good morning. Sun-Kissed Yogi, good morning. Luis, it's good to see you again. Shannon, let's go. Shannon, when we get that new season of Landman, good to see you here this morning. Peter, welcome back. Corey, welcome back. Buffalo by Bicycle, welcome back. Kevin, welcome back. Reaching Financial Freedom, good morning and welcome back. Rooster, it's great to see you as always. Glass half full, nice to see you. Jack of Trades, what trades do you have on the radar here today? Good morning, boss. Welcome back. Jane, great to see you as always. Brian, welcome back. Let's get it done. Azrar, good morning. Durkis, good morning. Almo, good morning. Cad Monkey, welcome back. Just passing through, good morning. Cam, good morning. Big Bear Hug, good morning. The Judge, all rise for the Judge. Richard Judge, welcome back. Good morning. Solitary Soldier, good morning. Maverick, welcome back. All That Glitters, welcome back. Ed, welcome back. Yes, That Girl, welcome back. Day Trader, good morning. Locked in. Jim, good morning. Welcome back. Brandy, good morning. Welcome back. Wiss, it's good to see you as always. Yassine, welcome back. Hopefully you are well. Lion is in the chat, locked up and ready to go. Let's go. Lugman or Luckman, coming from Apex Trader Funding. Awesome. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Shannon says, Landman, November 16th. Get ready, folks. It's coming. All right. Good stuff. Neville, good morning. Producers, good morning. Special K, good morning. So for those of you that are Ryder Cup fans, get ready because Producer's going to be awfully grumpy when his European team gets smoked over this weekend. So hope you're doing well there. Well, we do have a poll up. Get your votes in. In the meantime, let's go ahead and do the stock market today. All right, futures under pressure here this morning for Thursday, September 25th. S&P futures down 0.37%. Actually started to accelerate a little bit here in the pre-market. Dow here down 0.15%, and the NASDAQ leading the way lower, down 0.54%. Now let's take a look at some cues from the last session. Most S&P 500 sectors were in the red on Wednesday, with materials, real estate, and communications leading the way, while energy, utilities, and consumer discretionary inched up. The NASDAQ composite fell 77 points during the session, followed by the S&P 500 down 19 points, and the Dow Jones average by 171.5 points. Among specific movers, Intel, ticker INTC, rallied 6.41% on Wednesday, following reports that the company is seeking an investment from Apple as part of its turnaround attempts. The new home sales data on Wednesday came in significantly ahead of estimates. This caused some of the housing and mortgage stocks to pop briefly. It came in ahead of the estimates at 800,000, ahead of the median forecast at 649,000. The prior quarter figures were 664,000. Now, the futures market remains calm ahead of the weekly jobless claims data, that are set to be released on Thursday. That's coming here at 8:30. Offering an essential economic data point to influence monetary decisions by the Federal Reserve. This comes as several regional Federal Reserve officials are scheduled to speak on Thursday, offering their outlook on the economy and monetary policies. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.139%. That did tick up slightly from yesterday. The 2-year bond was at 3.6%. All right, we'll take a look at the chart. This is what it looks like. Couple of things I'm just going to repeat from happy hour yesterday. First of all, that potential tweezer top reversal that we looked at here on the SPY from the Monday and Tuesday candle looks like that's playing out here as we are under pressure again for the third day. Now, it's worth noting that we haven't had 3 bearish days in a row in some time. In fact, if you look back to the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday candles from last week, that's 16, 17, and 18, you'll notice that those 3 are red, but I've got a bone to pick with that because this middle candle, despite finishing red, actually had bullish action. We really sold off. Buyers stepped in and said, not so fast, and brought it back up. So despite that candle finishing red, it was actually bullish action on that day. We really have to look back to, right in here, right? The end of July, beginning of August, to find 3 bearish days in a row. And the other thing is that if you zoom out a little bit, you'll notice that when we do get this little bit of rollover and we test this 20-day moving average, even if we dip below it, the recent trend is that we recapture it and move higher. So looking back to where we are here today, you can see we are not far away from that 20-day moving average. In fact, we're only 4 points from that where we're sitting right now in the pre-market. I would imagine that that is definitely going to be a key level. I also suspect 660 to 661 to be a key level. And now that we find ourselves under that, perhaps that will be potential resistance to the upside if the market tries to trade higher. So right now, the way I see it, 660 to 661, your upside key level, downside key level here, 654 and 3/4. That is your 20-day moving average. All right, let's take a look at some of the insights here from analysts. Analyst Mike Zaccardi highlighted results from the American Association of Individual Investors, which he notes maintains a bullish percentage similar to previous weeks. Of the investors polled, 41.7% polled bullish and 19.1% neutral, 39.2% bearish. Now, if you take a really quick glance at this, and I'll go ahead and give you the link just in case you want to pick through the rest of the article and any embedded tweets in said article. But if you'll notice here, Zaccardi looking at the exact same thing that Mark Petrino looks at. In fact, Mark's been in the habit of showing us this graphic every time he comes on here, and he judges where the market is going based off this. Looks like he's not the only one. Pretty good to see there. Similarly, 27% of the AAII say there's higher than normal chance of recession before the end of the fiscal year, while most continue to believe that the probabilities are, quote, unlikely, end quote. We mentioned that there's a whole bunch of economic data coming up here today. Here's what the slate looks like. At 8:20, the Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee speaks. At 8:30, we hit the wave of economic data that we prepped you for here. Initial jobless claims for the week of September 20th, the final Q2 GDP estimate, and August's advanced trade balance in goods, retail inventories, wholesale inventories, and durable goods orders. At 9, Fed President John Williams delivers some opening remarks, while Kansas Fed President Jeff Schmid also speaks. At 10, we've got the Vice Chair of Supervision, Michelle Bowman, speaking alongside the August home sales data. Michael Barr delivers remarks at 1. Lori Logan at 1:40, and Mary Daly at 3:30. So a whole bunch of Fed heads going to be talking here today. Now, one of the other things that's going to happen after hours here today, we talked a lot about some of the economic prints, but let's also talk about the earnings. Costco is going to be reporting earnings here after hours. Now, y'all folks know Costco is my favorite store. I absolutely love this, love the stock, long-term holder of this, not trading it around the earnings. But I'm bringing this to your attention because if we take a look at the chart, we're at a pretty key area here. We have this kind of this wedge forming here. We are at the bottom end of this trend line that has really been holding back since March. This also held the Liberation Day pullback, and we might be looking to break down from this. So I want to see where Costco goes next. If we do break down, I'm kind of thinking that this 886, 885 level probably on deck if this shows some continued weakness. Conversely, if we trade up, this actually marks a pretty good support level. We have a number of key moving averages that we're going to need to clear, namely the 50-day at 956.5 about. We also have the 200-day 975.75. So we'll see if we can recapture any of these moving averages, perhaps get multiple closes above them, and then move towards the top end of the wedge. Let's take a look at the Costco earnings report preview here. They could offer insight at the health of consumer spending, and the retailer reports fourth quarter financial results on Thursday. I'm still making my weekly trips to Costco, so they better report good numbers. I've been doing my part, that's for sure. Here are their earnings estimates and what analysts are saying ahead of that report. Analysts expect Costco to report fourth quarter revenue of $86.11 billion. That's up from $79.7 billion in last year's fourth quarter. That's according to Benzinga Pro. Costco has beaten analyst estimates for revenue in 2 straight quarters in 5 of the last 10 quarters overall. Analysts expect Costco to report fourth quarter earnings per share of $5.80. That's up from $5.15 in last year's fourth quarter. The company beat analyst estimates for earnings per share in the third quarter. It also beat estimates in 8 of the last 10 quarters overall. Costco stores in northern New Jersey were the busiest compared to traffic checks at Amazon Fresh, Walmart, and Five Below stores. Quote, the Costco store in Teterboro, New Jersey was extremely busy on a Tuesday at 9:45 a.m. with executive members enjoying the extra hour of shopping. That came from Telsey analyst Joseph Friedman. I got to say, the change to let executive members in at 9 a.m., especially on Saturday and Sunday, is one of the greatest changes that I've seen at Costco. The Costco that I go to has a local law that does not allow you to buy liquor prior to 10 a.m. So as long as I don't need liquor on any of my Costco trips, I am there at 8:59 and I am often out before 9:30. And pretty awesome for Costco because that store can become an absolute zoo. I did talk to some of the employees there about what they think about it. They like it, kind of. It's really the stock people that get hurt because they don't get an extra hour and they have to finish stocking the store while there are customers still in it. Nonetheless, I'd like to see if numbers go up from that extra hour of shopping. The analyst said that Costco store was ready for fall and winter and holidays like Halloween and Christmas. I can confirm that's the case. They actually already have Halloween and Christmas decorations up in my Costco. It's September, folks. It's September. Quote, the consumer electronics and appliances area had decent traffic. I actually just replaced my TV. Given shoppers seem to be pulling forward big ticket purchases ahead of the anticipated tariff-related price increases. Feldman said that the grocery area was the busiest part of the store with consumers seeking value. And this is exactly why I go weekly. There is no, in the Chicagoland area, at least where I live, there is no grocery store chain that has as good produce and fresh food there. I buy all my meat, all my produce, all my dairy from Costco. I don't even go to the supermarket anymore. So I totally understand that. And I wonder how many other people are doing the same thing. Quote, we expect Costco to remain a share gainer with its value-focused merchandising and high member loyalty, end quote. The analyst maintained an outperform rating on Costco with a price target of 1,100. Remember, we're under 1,000 here, right about 950. Costco's early openings for executive members began rolling out in June and went nationwide earlier this month. A report from Placer AI stated that the early openings are helping alleviate congestion later in the day. Yeah, you don't say. You don't say. Reducing the time that shoppers spend in store, all while avoiding extra staffing costs. Quote, this redistribution helps create a more balanced flow of visitors, likely improving the shopping experience for members overall. I can confirm this is absolutely true, at least on my end. Placer AI describes the move as a win-win for both members and the retailer. The early hours could be a key topic for Costco executives as it improves operations, might increase spending, and lead to more executive memberships. That's the other thing that I want to see, and I'm glad that they're bringing this up because every week that I go there, it has not failed since they made this change. Every single week I go there, there are people waiting in the vestibule that are not executive members, and the look of despair on their face when executive members walk right past them and into the store early while they have to stand out there with their cart. I would imagine that creates some FOMO, probably see some upgrades there, and that's really going to help Costco's margins, I would imagine. The report highlights that Costco has reported year-over-year visit growth in every quarter since the second quarter of 2021, driven by new store openings and an increase in same-store visits. Store traffic and new store openings could be items for investors and analysts to watch to paint the picture of what's ahead for Costco in the next fiscal year. Comparable sales were up 5.7% year-over-year for Costco in the third quarter, with three major segments of U.S., Canada, and other internationals all seeing growth. Investors and analysts will be looking for growth in regions once again and heading into the next fiscal year. Membership fees will be another area to focus on. This segment generated revenue of $1.24 billion in the third quarter. That's up from $1.12 billion in the same quarter last year. Costco raised its membership fees in September of 2024, its first increase since 2017. Q4 will have membership fee hikes for many users, and this high margin revenue remains vital to the company's profitability. So we're going to see where Costco goes here today. I'm obviously, I'm not trading for this print, still long and strong for a number of years here. I'll be looking to see what takes place here with Costco. Let's go back to the charts here real quick and take a look at Open next here. I know this has been kind of a popular, I guess I would call it popular trade for our group here. Open recently has really kind of shown some weakness, but if you take a look at the daily chart here, we basically just pulled back to the 20, and so far we're bouncing here. If we take a look inside, you can see we actually had a pretty decent day yesterday, popped again in the after hours, and we've tailed off a little bit here in the pre-market, but not crazy yet. Let's keep Open on the back burner for a trade here today. We also have a piece of news going on with Open. Shares jumped in Wednesday's extended trading session after Jane Street disclosed a stake in the company. Jane Street Group disclosed in a 13G filing that it collectively holds 44,031,000 shares, which represents 5.9% of Open Door's total outstanding common stock. So a new 5.9% stake from Jane Street per the 13G. The 13G is a filing required by the SEC when an entity acquires beneficial ownership of more than 5% of a registered class of company equity shares and fits certain criteria. Opendoor shares gained 16.24% on Wednesday's regular trading session after the release of an upbeat home sales report boosted investor optimism. The data showed a big jump in new single-family home sales. August hit a seasonally adjusted annual pace of 800,000, surging 20.5% over July and up 15.4% year over year. In fact, our real estate expert that we have on Happy Hour said that nobody really saw this coming. It was absolutely a surprise, even to professionals in the industry. Strong housing demand momentum bodes well for companies like Opendoor, as a strong backdrop could push sales volume, boost revenue, and improve margins for those involved in home sales and financing. The median price for new houses sold in August increased to $413,500. That, beating last month's and 2024's rising prices, could mean bigger margins and higher portfolio values for Opendoor. Let me know if you folks are still looking to trade Opendoor. I realize that this has been kind of like a big mover here. We've talked about this really just being a short-term trade. Let me know if you're looking to trade that, or if the news here today changes your mind on any of that. Next, I do want to talk about one of the big stories that we got yesterday. This revolves around Intel and Apple. A couple of things to break down here. Intel stock rallied on Wednesday after the company reportedly reached out to Apple, not the other way around. Intel reached out to Apple to explore an investment. I wonder if I could reach out to other people and see if I could explore an investment of them into me and see if that works. I kid, of course. The two companies also have discussed opportunities to deepen their collaborations, though discussions are still preliminary and might not result in a deal. That is according to Reuters. Neither Intel nor Apple has commented on the matter. Following the news, Intel shares did pop 6%. Intel CEO Lip-Bu Tan has been actively seeking partners as part of efforts to revive the company, which has lagged behind rivals like NVIDIA and AMD in the fast-growing AI sector. Last week, NVIDIA disclosed a $5 billion investment in Intel for about a 4% stake, both companies based in Santa Clara, California. SoftBank has also invested in Intel, easy for me to say, and the company has approached other firms to gauge interest in additional investments and partnerships. Even the U.S. government took a significant equity position in Intel through the White House brokered deal. Last week, a group of ex-Intel board members urged the company to become a private company in response to its declining competitiveness in the global semiconductor market. They argued that Intel's current corporate structure is outdated, making it hard to compete with rivals like Taiwan Semiconductor. The former directors suggested separating Intel's design and manufacturing operations to help revive its position, noting that shedding quarterly earnings pressures would allow for a more ambitious restructuring. Quote, "Hope is not a strategy," end quote, the group wrote in Fortune magazine. Intel, this has also been kind of a good trade for us. We talked a lot about this, especially when this was really kind of bottoming around that 18 to 19 support area. That thing has held really well for a long time. Intel, of course, off that initial pop here, came back in a little bit, but I would imagine that this key level here, about 32 and a half, see if we can break that and trade up to the trend line that we have. This trend originates in April of 2021. It's been a long time since we've seen a print above 32 here in Intel. We'll see if we get that pretty soon. All right, how much time do we have? 9 minutes until the data drop and our new segment. Let's keep cruising here. Best mining stock boom in 50 years is crushing the S&P 500, a once-in-a-generation trade. Mining stocks are enjoying a blockbuster year on the back of a record rally in precious metals, with several names posting triple-digit gains and crushing even the most growth-linked AI stocks. And analysts say the run is far from over. Triple-digit returns in silver and gold mining exchange-traded funds have reawakened the long-dominant commodity sector, with industry experts calling it the strongest precious metals bull market in a half-century. According to 22V research analyst Colin Fenton, quote, "Despite the daily new price highs in gold, silver, and other markets, it's not too late for investors who need to boost portfolio performance in the fourth quarter of 2025 to get involved or re-involved in commodities," end quote. The expert described it as a, quote, "once-in-a-generation," end quote, opportunity for investors in mining stocks. Few sectors have outperformed like precious metals this year. The S&P 500 gold shares, or ticker GLD, which we often look at here on this program, is up 43% year to date, while its iShares Silver Trust SLV has climbed 52%. Both ETFs have beaten over 94% of the S&P 500 constituents. But it's the miners where returns are exploding. The VanEck Junior Gold Miners ETF, that's GDXJ, has skyrocketed 110%, while the VanEck Gold Miners GDX is up 106%. Meanwhile, the Global X Silver Miners ETF, SIL, has gained 105%. Each has outperformed 99% of S&P 500 names. Newmont, ticker NEM, the world's largest gold miner and one of Lion's favorite stocks, has surged 125% year to date, joining a short list of S&P 500 stocks with triple-digit gains, including Robinhood, Palantir, Seagate, and AppLovin. All of those stocks we are familiar with here. AppLovin making people wealthy around these parts. Fenton attributes this outperformance to operating leverage. Quote, "So long as commodity prices persist in a bull market, diversified baskets of affiliated producers shares will tend to post a 2 to 3x higher price return on the underlying commodity," end quote. The ratio of GDX's 118.9% return to gold's 37.9% in 2025, that reflects a 3.2 times multiple. Industrial metals are not far behind. The Global X Copper Miners ETF COPX is up 42% year to date. That's beating 93% of S&P 500 of the S&P 500, excuse me. Shares of Antofagasta, that's ticker ANFGF. I probably butchered the name, and I'm sorry about that. Viewed by 22V as a global bellwether, they're up 52% and outperformed 95% of the index. Now, energy stocks, which we've talked about quite a bit here, especially with some of the guests, they've been quiet outperformers. Oil names have also delivered big. CVI, the standout, 88% year-to-date return, outperforming 99% of the S&P. Marathon Petroleum, MPC, that's up 37%. Valero, VLO, climbed 39%. And HF Sinclair, DI, ticker DINO, has surged 51%. Geopolitical tensions continue to fuel the case for energy stocks. Renewed Ukrainian strikes on Russian refineries and Moscow's diesel export curbs have raised concerns, reinforcing oil's role as a geopolitical hedge. Independent U.S. natural gas producers also saw strong gains through mid-year, but were hit by a drawdown driven by coal fuel switching policies. The Trump administration delayed planned coal plant retirements in Michigan, Maryland, and Arizona, temporarily undercutting the natural gas demand. We actually discussed this on Happy Hour yesterday, wondering if there's going to be any type of bump up there in natural gas and if that makes it tradable for us. Antero Resources, ticker AR, Range Resources, ticker RRC, and private firm Expand Energy Corp, ticker EXE, saw their year-to-date gains evaporate. As of late September, EXE is up just 1%, RRC is down 1%, and AR is off by 5%. EQT Corp, ticker EQT, however, never slipped into negative territory and is now up 11% year to date. Fenton said the drawdown appears to have ended on August 19th, and that recent gains suggest a new entry point for investors who missed the initial rally in 2024. According to 22V's framework, the global commodity cycle likely began in 2024, placing us in a year two of a typical 5-year bull run. Historically, these cycles start with precious metals, followed by industrial metals, and finally, energy. Fenton emphasized that unlike previous cycles, today's dynamics favor refined products, electricity, and natural gas over crude oil. Quote, "We want to stay vigilantly focused on investment opportunities in the IPPs, the natural gas producers, and copper and silver miners and vendors of electrical equipment," end quote. If 22V's target materialize, $4,000 for gold, $50 for silver, and $1,100 for copper in the first half of 2026, this cycle could end up being one of the most profitable commodities rallies in the modern era. Lion, I know you have to be excited about this. You have literally been pounding the table on some of these metals, in particularly gold and silver. So really good stuff there. Okay, we've got 3 minutes. I'm almost thinking we should just bring on our guests now and do a little bit of introduction before we get the data print. Producer, why don't we go ahead and do that? Looks like we've got one of them here. Let's go ahead and bring him on, producer. All right, I'm here with David Green. Good morning, David. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Another day that I'm above ground. All things are good. We're ready to roll. And you know what? We've got a football game tonight, so it's hard for me to be in a bad mood today. As I was just kind of setting up there for you, we are expecting a data print here pretty soon. Do you have any expectations for this? Are you looking at anything in particular? Are you getting ready to trade it? Can you tell me what's going on here?
Yeah, durable goods coming out at 8:30. That is a fairly big number for the Fed to be watching. No orders going into this. We will be reactive, not proactive, but we certainly will not have anything out there going into this.
Okay.
We will be hanging, keeping our eyes on the spies. I'll tell you, we are about 90% trading futures at this point. That is our focus. So we'll be watching the ESs, which is the S&P 500 futures. Gold, we trade a lot of gold. I heard you talking about that a couple of minutes ago. Don't be short gold for the last 6 months, right?
You'd be carried out in a stretcher if you were short gold. It's been a crazy run here. David, I'm really excited about this. Got to be honest with you. I don't trade futures myself. I do, of course, watch futures as they drive the bus, but I don't trade them myself. So I'm very excited to hear how you're approaching these trades. The one ask that I would say is we got a very, very thirsty for knowledge group here. Anything that you can share about setups that you're finding, how you're actually executing, and how you're determining whether it's an entry or exit time would be much appreciated.
100%. So everything that we do is based on technical analysis. I am a big technical analysis guy. I will never make a trade unless my charts tell me to make a trade. Before we get out of here at some point today, I will share every single technical that I use.
Beautiful.
I will, if any setups present themselves, we will be trading live. I am also simulcasting in my private trading room, which I trade with my ladies and gentlemen, 6.5 hours a day, post every single trade that we have out there that we're looking for. I put a little order up in my box, a little marker up here in the SPY. I don't know if you guys, yeah, you can see my order box.
I don't have your, let me go ahead and share your screen now.
There you go.
There we go.
All right, good. So I see I put a little marker up here in the SPYs at this level, 657.70. I'll show you why I put that out there. Okay, this is a daily level on the SPYs. Let's go to our daily chart.
And David, really quick, we are getting these data prints here. Let me know if this actually causes you to make a trade here.
Let's stay on the shorter term time frame now and see if we get any reaction to this. So we have a chart up of the SPY. Should be out any second now. Let's see if we get anything from it.
U.S. initial jobless claims 218 versus the 233 estimate. U.S. GDP quarter over quarter for Q2 3.8 versus the 3.3 estimate. U.S. core PCE prices for Q2 2.6 versus the 2.5 estimate. Durable goods month over month for August a positive 2.9 versus the 0.3 loss estimate. U.S. retail inventories ex auto 0.3, and U.S. durable goods orders month over month for August. The prior was revised from minus 2.8 to minus 2.7.
And a big fat nothing in the SPYs. Let's look at gold. I
Yep.
think gold is moving here. Let's take a look. Yeah, gold getting a little bit of a pullback here. So let's look technically at gold, all right? We're at 37.75. I have a support level on yesterday's previous day close down to 37.68, and then we got a nice gapper down to about 37.40. So keep an eye on gold right now. Again, I'd like to let this settle in. We're not going to be running into anything. Give this 5-10 minutes to settle in. If we get a bigger move from here, we'll start taking a peek at what's going on. But this is kind of muted. No surprises in this report. SPYs are doing nothing. SPY futures are doing nothing, kind of just sitting here.
Yeah.
So right now, it's a big non-event.
Definitely a non-event. It does look like we've kind of traded up off the lows, but we are still holding lower here. S&P futures down by 0.38%. No big reaction, as you said, yet here. So when you get a situation like this, what's your next course of action? Are you just kind of playing the waiting game?
Yeah. Now I will start going through my charts. We'll look at some stocks. We'll look at all the futures. We'll start looking at levels that might be interesting to us to make a trade. Based on that, I mean, yesterday we had a beautiful trending day, mostly to the downside all day yesterday. That is something that we look for. Good morning, Francis. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Even this morning, if we look at the ESs, and sometimes we are up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, especially futures. Two great things about trading futures. Okay. One is the low barrier to entry. You know, Ryan, we can open up an account with Apex for as little as $33. Okay. And you have to pass certain barriers and stuff, but it is a way to generate income at a very, very low cost to entry. We know we have the PDT rule, which is, you have to have a minimum of $25,000 in your retail trading account.
Did you see the news?
Yeah, I did see the news. They're talking about changing that. Which would be spectacular.
FINRA accepted it. So FINRA already said that they're going to change it. They've outlined new rules. It's just pending SEC approval. David, we talked about this when this initially got floated. There was a big reaction to this. I'm curious on your opinion. Do you think that we see higher trading volumes across the board for equities, futures, and everything else when this gets removed?
100%. I mean, we got to see what it looks like. What does it mean? That means if you put $1,000 in an account, you're still gonna have be handcuffed by the amount of things that you can buy in stocks. It's not going to be like it's not going to open it up to everybody, right? I mean, if I want to buy even 100 shares of the Spiders, you're looking at $65,000 worth of margin to do it. So
your daily buying power is going to be basically an individual or based on the individual asset. So I would imagine there's going to be much more leniency for SPY than something like some Chinese pump stock.
Yeah. So we got to see what it looks like when it comes out. Yeah, it'll definitely open up the retail trading world to, millions of more people.
I think there's just going to be a lot more. I think traders are going to be a lot more active. I think you're going to have brokers like Robinhood and perhaps Webull benefit tremendously from this. They're going to see more order flow. I think there's a lot of good stuff there.
No question, 1,000%. Robinhood was something that everybody dismissed a couple of years ago, right?
Including me.
Yeah, me too.
Mea culpa on this. I did the same thing.
I missed a trade on that one. No question about it. That was not something that I have. That and Bitcoin 25 years ago were the two biggest regret. Well, two of the biggest regrets in my life.
Yeah, I was just late on Bitcoin, but as soon as I kind of figured it out, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. My first buy was in 2014. I think I paid $6,300.
Nice.
So
yeah, I just didn't believe. I was one of those old school Florida Stock Exchange kind of guys, and it just was, people used to come up to me every other day with something that was trading at $1 that I could buy at 50 cents and, get in on the underwriting. It just, I missed it. Listen, I've owned Apple since 1985 and a couple of other long-term holdings. I worked on the Florida Stock Exchange. Good morning, Francis. Are we getting, Ryan, are we getting new comments in here? Because I seem to be, is anybody commenting?
Oh, tons. I
really? I don't see it. Mine is stuck on 810.
Okay. I'm not sure what the deal is there. I am seeing them flowing here. We got a lot of comments here.
Wow. All right. We got to get that fixed somehow. Let me see. I don't know how to do it.
Seems to be working here on my end. A lot of the comments here, first of all, David, they totally agree with us on the pattern day trading rule. Ed says, quote, it's a stupid rule, end quote. I would completely agree with that. Let's see what else we have here from the chat. I think you need 2,000. Actually, I believe it's 2,500 to access margin. If I read that correctly, you might be right, though. James said, I missed Hood as well, but I still picked some up at 100. Okay. Yeah, you can always try a refresh there. Tennis 13 will be in the chat. We have a new segment here on Thursdays. He will be joining us at 10 Eastern.
Let me try to find out where Peter is. Hold on a second. All right. You help me out with this then, Ryan. How many people who are joining us today are actively trading futures?
That's a good question. We don't have a huge futures contingent in our group. Let me get some ones in the chat. If you A, actively trade futures right now, or B, want to trade futures going forward. Let me get a 1 in the chat there. David, I will try and estimate that for you when we get some data here.
Yeah, I don't know why mine's not catching up. I'm scrolling all the way to the bottom and it's not catching up. One of the reasons that we want everybody, 2 reasons we want everybody to trade futures. Let me show you, and we trade with Apex. Apex is our preferred trading futures platform. I want to share with you guys some data that I have. These are my Apex trading accounts, okay? All of these accounts were opened up with $33 or even $17 at some point. And this is not my main focus. My main focus is trading with my traders. I've had one account for 41 days, one account for 27 days. And this adds up to about $30,000 over the last, less than 2 months. And again, it is not my main focus. So there are steps that you have to do, okay, to get to that point. Monitor chart from this link. All right, let me see if I can get that. There we go. Okay, now I can monitor the chat. All right, so there aren't a lot of us here that are trading.
No, David, by my estimation, it looks like we've got 10. We've got a lot of folks saying that we don't understand futures here. And this is what I was trying to hint at the beginning here. I really think that the biggest impact we can make right here is treating it like these are newer folks. So let's make sure we explain everything that we're doing here pretty clearly.
I love it. Okay. So there are a few different futures that we trade. When we are trading futures, so if you are a SPY trader, you want to trade the SPYs, okay, the ES is going to be the mini S&P 500 index. It exactly mirrors what the SPY does, okay? So when we're trading the futures, it trades in points and ticks. So if I'm going to trade one ES contract and I buy one ES contract and it goes up a point, I have made $50. If it goes up 2 points, I have made $100. That is per contract. I trade it the same exact way I would trade any other stock, guys and girls. I use my technical analysis, which works more often than it doesn't because we're using our technical analysis to put the odds in our favor of our trades working. So I'll share with you guys some of the text that we are using. It's if I wanted to buy, again, if we go back to the affordability, I have had, I don't know, thousands of people come into my trading room that were not trading options. We're not trading futures. And we have converted 99% of them. Okay. And it's because of the low barrier to entry. We want everybody who's trading with us to be able to trade futures. And again, it's no different. We're using all of our technical analysis. We can trade the Dow Jones. Okay. If we want to trade the Dow Jones, it is the YM. That is the mini Dow Jones futures. Same technicals, same everything else that we use. They have different point and tick values, so it takes a little bit to learn it. Here's what I'm going to do, guys and girls. For everybody who is here, if you're not familiar to trading futures, okay, I will type in my email for everybody, and you're going to watch. No, you can't lose your shirt faster, Ed, and I'll explain to you why. Okay, the only thing that you are risking when you open up in a futures account, and by the way, guys and girls, before we get out of here, I'm going to give you guys 10 free futures accounts. And I'll walk you through how to open them up, and I'll walk you through how to trade them, and we'll go through all the rules of all of them, okay? All right? I'm going to give you guys my email, because we're not going to be able to get to all this today. No question about it. But here's what we'll do. I'm going to give you guys my email. You guys send me an email, okay? Anyone who's here and is interested. And everybody who wants can come into my private trading room next week. No cost to anybody, okay? And we'll give you a whole week of just trading futures and how we do it and the rules for it and all those different things, all right? So it's not that difficult to learn. It's just a little different than trading stocks, okay? But it's not that difficult to learn. So let's talk a little technicals now. So everything we see is taking another little leg down. So I want to go to the SPYs, right? And I'm going to go to my spiders on a daily chart. And before the end of the day, guys, yeah, you're looking at Think or Swim for charting, everybody. I am using Think or Swim for charting. It is my favorite. Most of the people in my group are either using Think or Swim or they are using TradingView. We have links that automatically set up your charts. So it's one button for everybody if they want to join us. No, I'm not looking to sell anything to anybody today. Okay, we're not going to talk about anything other than if we get some trading setups live, we'll do it. And by the way, guys and girls, if you see any stocks or anything that you want me to talk about, please pop it in. And we'll take a look at it. We still trade stocks. I love trading Tesla. I love trading NVIDIA. I love trading Oracle. But our focus has switched to trading futures because I'll post it again here, guys. I don't know if you can see the stuff that I'm posting. Let me see.
Go ahead and post. I'll let you know. Yeah. We will also still be doing the regular trades that we make here on a daily basis. We will absolutely still be doing the movers in about 18 minutes. I'm going to run through the list here for you. Again, 13, I'm sure, is researching them right now. He's going to drop some of that info in the chat, so don't worry. We're going to have all of that content still here. David, I see Peter's available. Peter, can I get a thumbs up to let me know that you're ready? Let's bring him in. I'm not seeing a thumbs up there. All right, we're going to do a cold bring. And look, you said bring him in. We're just going to do it. Peter, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, good. I couldn't find my thumb. How's everybody doing? I can't even see my pic. Can you see me?
Barely. You're moving around. I'm almost borderline getting a seizure there from all the moving around.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for having me. I'm on my way into the exchange, so I'm going to be in and out for a second. Welcome, everybody. Super excited to be here.
Born to be free. What's up, Born to be free? I have to tell you guys, me and Pete were with Benzinga a few years back.
Yeah, with Spencer, we used to do the morning show.
Spencer and Aaron.
Just like we're going to do here, guys. We're gonna break this down 8:30 to 10ish on Thursdays. I'm going to give you a breakdown of what's going on. There's going to be economic data. Always comes out on Thursday that really curates the market for the day. Obviously, we're now in the beginning of this interest rate cutting cycle. That's a big factor in the market. Yesterday was the first day where we had any kind of a pullback at all, even though it was very minor. We're hoping that maybe the market will just have certain. We're not looking for a relief rally. We're looking for sort of a relief pullback because there's a lot of money on the sidelines that really needs to get into the market. There's a lot of under investment by the large guys, right? A lot of the hedge funds, a lot of the mutual funds got caught off guard during that sell-off on February, March, April, while retail was buying it. Retail has matured incredibly a lot since the days of COVID, since we were on with you guys the last time. Retail's matured, and then the hedgies and the mutual fund guys got a little bit scared off during that self-inflicted economic Armageddon that we had February, March, and April. They were selling when they probably should have been buying that dip, so they're underinvested. So there are lots of reasons why, with all that's going on, with the economic weakness, we're getting the cutting of interest rates, but that's why we're still trading at record highs. We just hit, day before yesterday, the 29th record high of this year. Back in 2024, we had 218 trading days. There were 58 record closes across Russell, S&P, NASDAQ, and the Dow. And we're already at 28 record highs this year. These are unheard numbers. They're real numbers, right? People need, these are not made up. This is real money being put to work, real thresholds. 46,000 on the Dow, 6,700 on the S&P, 23,000 plus on the NASDAQ. And they're buying everything, right? Normally, gold and equities are usually inverse related, right? Gold is sort of a safe haven asset that people buy when the market is selling off, but market's trading at record highs, and so is gold. And I know we're trading futures here. You're going to see that on the futures on the gold market as well. I mean, numbers that are unheard of. A few years ago, gold was hanging out at 1,800, 1,900 an ounce, and now we're in way above 3,000, so heading towards 4. So you know what? The market in 2025 has done virtually everything a market can do, right? We had the high highs of February 19th, the low lows of April 19th. We had a small, what I'm calling a mini crash. We've had, we had a couple of wars to deal with the whole interest rate thing going on. We had a new administration. We've had economic weakness, economic strength. We had this whole tariff thing, which has threw the market into a frenzy during February, March, and April, where companies were not even able to give guidance. That is, everybody needs to know the lifeblood of the market are earnings and guidance. All the rest of it's chatter. But and so the last quarter, earnings actually beat. However, the fact that none of the companies knew what their cost of goods sold was, there were boats lining up in Beijing Harbor that could not fill themselves with all the goods to come to the U.S. for back to school, for Christmas, for all that stuff, because they didn't know the cost of the tariffs, right? Don't you remember in the beginning when Mr. Trump was throwing out 185%, 140% tariffs? These boats could not fill, because when a boat fills up with product, that's when they have to pay their bills and their tariff. So people did not know. There was so much unknown. We were not even able to get to where you need to go.
Trading room.
I'm going to pass it back to Dave to get down some trading. It's 8:46. I'll be here, and we'll be talking about the market. Thanks for having us.
All right, Pete, thank you. All right, guys and girls, let's start going through our morning setup. We're going to start putting some orders out if we see things. Email, guys and girls, write it down if you can't see me posting in there. D Green, D as in David, Green like the color, 927@yahoo.com. D Green 927@yahoo.com. All right, so we're going to start going through things, some stocks and futures. We're looking at Tesla right now, guys and girls, okay? So Tesla is giving us a pretty decent downturn here. So we have a couple of levels that we're looking for. Mike, what was your first level? 432.40. So we do a lot of trading based on technicals. We use a lot of Fibonacci's to do our trades. Yeah, what was it? 432.40 to start?
Yeah, 32.50 or 40.
Okay.
We'll see.
So in the morning, guys, when we're first, you guys can hear me in both rooms, right? Yes. When we're first looking to put trades on in the morning, okay, I am going to put what I call markers out. So when I put a marker out in something, it just means I want to know if we get to that price, especially early in the morning when the markets are just opening, right? So I'm looking at Tesla, and we have a fib down at 432.40. We have our previous day low at 429.30, and we have our previous week close at 426. So I'm going to put orders at all those levels if we get the smack-a-dacka here off the opening, okay? I'll explain what these technicals are in a minute. 426.10. And the reason I'm only putting markers out early in the morning is because I don't want to put out 100-share lots in this and have it blow through all these levels and start my day off in a hole, right? So I put markers out at these levels, okay? Wow, the spiders just got the absolute smackdown. So I want to show you why I had an order out in the spiders at 658.70. This is a pretty important level here, guys. I'm going to go to my daily chart in the spiders, okay? This is a pretty important level. I'll show you why I had a marker out there. Okay. This is my daily chart in the spiders. And I use a 9 EMA, a 15, a 30, a 65, and a 200. We just hit our 15 EMA on a daily chart. This is this red line here, okay? So we hit this 15 EMA on a daily chart. This is a fairly important level because we have been riding this trend line for the last 4 months. Everybody in Benzinga and my room, give me a 1 if you can see how we've been riding this trend line for this entire time for the last 4 months. All right, if you bet, can you everybody in Benzinga see my charts?
Yes, it's
All
up
right,
on
cool
the stream
beans.
here.
Yeah, so check it out. We have been riding this trend line for the last 4 months. A couple of times we broke it and we pulled back to our 30 EMA, broke it, pulled back to our 30 EMA, and we have never broken that 30 EMA for the last basically 6 months. So this is a mega important spot for us to hold here right this morning, okay? Below this, our next level that I have on my daily chart is 651. So we got a little gap-a-dapper down here below here if we break these levels. Now, Peter was talking earlier about the markets and making highs, new highs every single day. Yeah, the market is due for a rest. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. The market is due for a rest. This is nothing more than a little bit of a pullback in a very, very strong market. But I'm going to be very curious to see if we hold these levels here. And you see, I put 1 share out, right? I don't want to, ruin my day early in the morning. This is a marker to see if we hold these levels. Let's go to our weekly chart. Okay. Weekly chart, our first level of support on my trend line, guys and girls, is down at, and it tells me right here, 647. I'm not predicting that we go to these levels, right? But we have gaps, man. 650 is my next spot, and then 647, and then I got 636. So you know what? You would be not smart of you, okay, not to write down these levels, have them in there in case we get a bigger dipsy doodle, right? We're sitting right on the one right now. Let's just call it 658. Gap to 651, gap to 647 below that. And monthly, I have very rarely in all my 40 years of trading seen a monthly chart in the SPY that is this stretched out. You just don't see that very rarely. We are extremely stretched out. We have an RSI on a monthly chart of about 72, which you do not see very often. Okay, so we need a little rest, right? Even a little bit of a correction. And again, you know what, guys and girls? For trading purposes, I don't care. I don't care, right? I just have to be aware of these big levels that if we're going to be breaking that, there could be more downside coming. That's all. Okay. So let's start looking at a few other things that we might want to put orders out. And you guys put any stocks that you want to put up there. We will take a look.
David, really quickly, in 8 minutes, I'm going to break down the movers that we do every morning here. So just keep going here. 8 minutes, folks. I'll get you to the movers. 13's already started on them, so have no fear. We'll get to all of it prior to the open. Sorry about that, David.
No. All good. All right. So let's start going through some of our futures and see if there's any places we want to put orders out. Okay. These are the S&P 500 futures. You can see that we're coming close to a little pivot point down here. All right. Pivot point is a level of support, and it's down around 66.50. Okay. Anybody in the trading room, do we like 66.50 for a little trade? If we get a little bounce off that, we want to try a little MES down there. I think we might want to see if we get a little bounce real quick. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm trading the micros, everybody. Okay. Don't get confused by all this. It's not that difficult. You guys come and hang out with us next week. You'll understand this all in a half hour, right? So when something is going down, I am looking for a level of support to buy using one of my technicals. So a pivot point is something that we put into our charts, okay? And it shows support or resistance. And when something is moving down, we want to buy it when it hits to a support level. So that's why I have an actual order out in the micro futures at 66.50. If it hits this level, we can expect a bounce of between 2 and 5 points. I am going to have a stop order on every single trade that I do. When I'm trading the futures, it's a little different than stocks. I'll explain both of them, okay? So when I'm trading my futures, my stop order is going to be 4 points. So and this is the actual mini ones, guys and girls. If I lose 4 points on 2 contracts on this trade, if I get stopped out and lose 4 points on this contract, I'm going to lose $40. That's how small the MES is. If I was trading the ES, each point is $50. The MES, each point is $5. Okay? So on my real trading account, and this is my Interactive Brokers trading account, retail account, I have $26,000 in there. Okay. Stick to micros. Don't wait your time a minute. Allow yourself. Yeah, we'll talk about all that. Okay. We'll talk about all that. All right. Let's look at gold. There's another one that we really like to trade. Let's see. Okay. Gold. Gold is also getting a big smackdown here. Gold is trading at, let me get the futures, please. So this is what we do all morning now. I'm going to go through all my charts, put orders out where I think we should be able to buying these things. Gold, we have our previous day low at 37.49. We got our previous week high at 37.44. We are going to put a little order in gold at 37.49. Let's do that in GC. MGC. Again, these are the mini futures. And you'll see, guys, if we get executed on these, how these things move. Now we're going to do some stocks too. Okay. I saw a couple of people mentioning crowd, pivot point, and ES is coming. All right. One other thing, guys and girls, that's very important for me, and I don't care if you're trading stocks or you're trading futures. I want something to hit one of my levels as quickly as possible. If something comes close to one of my technical levels, but it doesn't hit it, I'm going to cancel that and look for a lower level. And you see how we got this little bounce right here, right? This little green bar. I don't want to see that when I want something to pull down and hit one of my levels. Kind of negates the odds of how good a trade that's going to be. All right. I saw a couple of people mentioning crowd. Let's take a look at crowd. And you guys can pop up any stocks that you want. I will take a look at them. I don't see much in crowd here. We got a little support down at 473, a little more support down at 468. Tesla, let's take a look. All right, let's take a look at oil futures first. Let's look at that. And again, guys and girls, don't be confused by this stuff. Trading is trading. Okay? Doesn't matter what instrument you're using. You just have to learn how to do a different thing. That's all. I'm going to give away 10 Apex accounts before we get out of here today. So if you guys hang out, okay? We're going to give you 10 free accounts. I'm going to walk you through how to use them next week if you come into the trading room. You can only trade futures with Apex, correct? Oil's doing nothing, sitting in the middle of everything. I don't see anything to do here. Kind of just dead, not going on. Let's look at Tesla, see what we're doing, if we're still coming down. Tesla's bopping around, kind of staying even here. Again, we got our orders down lower to see if we break down from here. Palantir, another stock I love to trade. Let's talk about, well, let me ask this to everybody. How many people are actively day trading? Give me some ones. I don't care if it's stocks or options.
Almost everyone in here is actively day trading. We don't even need the ones. It's almost
Beautiful.
literally every person.
All right, good. All right, let's look at Palantir, and we'll take a little longer term view because this got up to like $185 yesterday, right? Something like that. A couple of days ago. It's made a high of 190, and 2 days ago we made a high of about 185. All right, so let's see where we are. We are at, and you can see, guys and girls, how the spiders is trying to cling to that level, right? Trying to hold on to that 15-minute on a daily chart. All right, let's go right to a daily in Palantir. So we're at $174. All right, so my 9 EMA was 175.70. We're a little below it. My 15 EMA is 172.30. Again, trend line that we've been riding for a little bit. We are at 174. All right, so here's what I'll do in Palantir. I'm going to put an order down on my daily 15 EMA at 172.30. See if we get a spike down to that off the opening. All right, let's just put a little marker out there. Palantir 172.30. That is a fairly important number coming down from 185. All right, so we'll put a little marker out there. And again, when I put these markers out, some people in my room are buying the actual things there. Okay, they don't want to wait. What time is it? 8:58. So let's mark it pre-market just in case. Boom. Okay. If this gets to 172.30 and it hangs out there for a minute, looks like it's going to hold, that's when I buy my 100, 200 shares, depending on, what size trader that you are. So that is the spot that I'm looking for. It's a technical level on my daily chart, my 15 EMA. Boom. Okay. So everything that I do is based on technical analysis. I am going to be wrong on trades. Okay. We are going to have losing trades. I can tell you that over the course of this year, we are about 76% winners to losers by being patient, by being disciplined, and waiting for things to set up. Okay. So we got our orders out in the MESs. We got our orders out in gold. We got Palantir. We got a couple of markers in Tesla. EVAX. I see a lot of EVAX.
Yeah, let me actually roll through some of the movers here, David. All right, let me take over here for a little bit.
I'm going to run to
the
bathroom. You guys do what you got to do for a couple minutes.
All right, perfect. So we're going to start here with some of the movers. First one on the list here is going to be ticker PEPG. This is PepGen. PepGen announces the highest mean splicing correction reported in DM1 patients, and reported earlier they had a public offering here. So looking at this stock here, this is about what, $2.50 yesterday. We did trade up to about $7.74 here this morning, right shy of $8 there. Stock is holding by 121%. Quick look at the short interest on this stock, 6.54% of the float shorted with 4.51 days to cover. That comes on an average volume just shy of 1 million shares, 943,000. Today, we've traded 53.77 million here. Float on this is 17.35. So this is going to be one of the big movers here. It's made a huge move already, very much like David was just talking about when it comes to technicals. Really, these are short-term only trades here. Wait and be patient. Wait for this to carve out a support level before looking to take this. All right. Next one here is going to be SPRC. This is SciSpark. Now, we should all be familiar with this one because we've traded this a whole bunch off of the scanner and the movers list here. SciSpark shares are trading higher after the company announced plans to launch a quantum computing enabled 3D protein modeling initiative for drug discovery. Lot of buzzwords in there. Again, we've seen the behavior from this stock before. Loves to pop, loves to come back in. This now quantum-enabled 3D protein model. I think they just wanted to throw quantum into their PR here to kind of juice it. Stock is up 35%. Quick look at the short interest on this one, 28.46%. That's actually a pretty big tick up from the read prior to that at the end of August. We actually are due for a new read, I believe, later today. 1 day to cover. On average, this stock trades 12.7 million shares. On average, the stock trades 2.5 million shares. Today, it's traded 12.7. Float on this one, this is one of those micro floats. This is why we keep seeing this one come up here. 530,000 shares in the float. So this one's going to be wild. Taking a look at the chart here, pretty good range up to 7. Looks like we're trying to recapture the VWAP here. That'll be something to watch along with volume flow right at the open. Now, the next one here is going to be EVAX. This is the one that you folks were asking about here. Sorry, I got it here, producer. EVAX. Shares are trading higher after the company out-licensed its EVX-83 vaccine candidate to MSD for $7.5 million cash payment and up to $592 million in milestones and royalties on sales. Now, it's moving on that new company out-licensed vaccine candidate, so we'll see what we end up getting here. This was a huge pop. Stock was about $330 yesterday. We went to $550 here in the pre-market, pulled back off that impulse move, about 50% retracement from that, and we're sitting here doing our best to hold on to 4 or maybe even 420. We'll see if this goes up to 473, see if we get our VWAP here and maybe move above towards 550 on EVAX. Another quick look around the horn here. Here we go. 13's all over it here. EVAX shares are, short interest on this, 3.25% of the float shorted. Not a whole lot here, 2.32 days to cover. On average, stock trades under 100,000 shares. Today, we've traded just shy of 42 million. Float on this is 4.71 million. So we'll see here on EVAX. Here we go, 4.7 million shares in the float. It retraced from the 565 high in the pre-market, but currently curling back towards the VWAP at 510. Next resistance area is above VWAP. We'll see if we get that. 13's cousin. 13, did you break down your cousin? You trading this one here today? Curious. Curious to see. This is ticker XXII. This is the 22nd Century Group. We've traded this one a ton. Stock traded up to 230 earlier. It's backed off a little bit down here to 180. We're still beneath the VWAP. We actually lost the pre-market support that this thing had carved out earlier. Quick look around the horn on this name. 2.82% of the float shorted on this with 1 day to cover. That comes on an average volume of just shy of 1.6 million. Today, we've done 6.7 already. Float here, 3.5 million on XXAI. Also, we're seeing some continuation from LAC.
You want to try it real quick?
Say again? Sorry, David?
Oh, nothing. I was talking to my room. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay.
Let me mute myself to you.
Thank you. LAC from yesterday, we're having a little bit of continuation here in the pre-market. We did pop up to 850. We've bled back a lot of those gains there. Actually lost 2 points off of this from the move back down. Doesn't look like we have anything fresh here on LAC, but remember, after yesterday, we are expecting more traders to flow into this as it moves here on relative volume. 13 says he did not break down his cousin. Okay, probably a good thing there. 13. All right, David, if you could still hear me, that's it for probably the big movers here. If you wanted to jump back in,
I am back in business.
All right, let's go ahead and get your screen up here. What do you got?
All right, we're hanging around that spider level. We haven't really broke it down significantly. What's 64.75, Scotty, on the short? Okay. A couple of other things that we're looking at. I'm looking at oil right now, and I have a double bottom forming out down here, down at 64.26. So we're going to put a little order out down there. And oil also, let me see where we are. Where are we? All right, let's do that. Oil 64.26. Just going to get all my orders out for the opening. Okay, good. Beautiful. Let's check the SPYs again. We are just hanging around this level, trying to hold on to this. I mean, it's amazing to me, when we just look at a chart, right? And listen, we don't have the holy grail of technical analysis, but we are just sitting right on this level, almost to the penny, and just sitting there. So we'll see what happens after the opening. Let me get my orb set up.
While you're setting that up, let me bring Peter back on and see if we can get an update here ahead of the morning bell. Peter, you're back on. You got an update for us?
You know what I do actually? Look, the market has been flatlining at these record highs for so long, and everyone was anticipating some kind of a pullback, which we didn't get. The whole fear was that, look, if you go back a year ago, Federal Reserve missed an opportunity to cut rates back in July. Then we had this big, massive sell-off when the Japanese Bank of Japan raised their interest rates. It caused this complete. It was called an unwind of a carry trade, which is, it's too complicated to go into now. But there's these massive positions when Japan was one of the only banks that still had zero interest rates. So all of the big money people around the world were long some yen, they were short some equities and all this kind of stuff. And then we had that major crash in the Japanese stock market and ours on August 5th. That set the stage once again for September. We had not cut rates the whole year. And then there was a shock and awe moment when Jay Powell finally cut rates in September, 50 basis points. And it caught everyone off guard because people need to understand cutting interest rates is a good thing when the economy is running in a strong mode, when we're in a high growth mode, GDP is strong. But when you cut interest rates, one of the reasons Jay Powell had been holding his ground and not kowtowing to the president when he's been wanting to pressure him to cut rates is when you have a low growth or slow growth environment, which we do with tariffs, okay? If you cut rates, you end up with stagflation, which is high inflation, high unemployment, and just a problematic economy. And there's no real solution to that. So that was why he kind of held his ground. As of the last Fed meeting that we had in August, all the economic data was not warranting him to cut rates yet. That's why he was sort of holding his ground. Everyone should also need to know that there's supposed to be a wall between the federal government, the president, okay, and the Federal Reserve Bank. There's not supposed to be all this interrelationships. They're supposed to be maintain independence. And Powell said that at Jackson Hole, and he once again said it at the Fed meeting last week. So they cut it 50 basis points. Last year, the initial reaction was down 1,000 by the market, because the fear is if you cut it 25, that seems in line and reasonable. But if you cut it 50, everyone was saying must know something we don't know. The economy must be in way worse shape. And the initial reaction was down 1,000. The market finally recovered itself. So that was what was going on in everybody's minds this time. What are we going to do? Are we cutting at 25? Are we getting 50? Because since the last meeting, the economic numbers have shown weakness. They've shown the impact of tariffs on the consumer, on the corporations, on publicly listed companies. Everybody from Walmart to Target to Amazon, everybody's feeling the tariff expense. Some of them are passing it on to the consumer. Some of them are absorbing it themselves. So we got a 25 basis point cut. The initial reaction was was good. People were going, okay, this is what we've been waiting for. And so for the last number of days since that Fed meeting on Wednesday, the market has continued to go higher. Now, this is where an example of where bad news is good news. So the bad economic data showing weakness in the employment. Unemployment went from 4.1 to 4.3. GDP went up and then it went down. Job claims and jobs numbers got weaker. Job claims went up, the biggest in 4 years. Yet the market continued to go higher. Russell Index hitting a record high, that's small cap, mid cap, hitting a record high first time in 2.5 years. So across the board, these numbers are amazing. So, but still, when market, think about this, the only thing that's similar about every pullback, consolidation, or crash, and I don't use the word lightly, and I'm not projecting one, is that before they happened, the markets were always trading at record highs. 87, I don't know about 29. I wasn't around then, even though people think I was. I wasn't around for the 29 crash. I was here for 87, 2000, obviously the great financial crisis, and for COVID. Each time before that happened, the markets were trading at record highs, as they are now. So that fueled everyone's sentiment. Also, there's this wonderful, the Jewish trade, which is historic, which is sell on Rosh Hashanah, buy on Yom Kippur. And once again, this trade is absolutely working beautifully, because any of you who are of the Jewish faith know that 2 nights ago was Rosh Hashanah. And sure, the whole idea behind it, there are a couple of these old Wall Street adages like sell in May and go away. Well, there's also one, sell on Rosh Hashanah, buy on Yom Kippur. Jews are supposed to on Rosh Hashanah sort of purge themselves of all their belongings, sort of reevaluate their lives, atone for their sins, and then on Yom Kippur they're supposed to, come on back and buy stocks and do all that kind of fun stuff and regain all of their possessions again. So that's why there's the sell on Rosh Hashanah, buy on Yom Kippur. It's working. It's amazing. Everyone thinks I'm nuts, but if you go on the internet, you'll see it is a thing, and it's living itself out here today.
Peter, we talked about that on Rosh Hashanah. We've been preparing for that. We've also talked about the September seasonality. We are definitely aware of all of that.
Awesome.
Real quickly here, we did have one of the viewers push back here while you were going through all that. Why did GDP come in higher then, Peter? Not quite buying it.
Okay, so GDP, it's fascinating why GDP came in higher. The bottom line was the anticipation was that we were looking at crazy tariff expense. And as Mr. Trump did that, he threw out this big blanket. He was throwing out these huge numbers. Actually, as of yesterday, the Republican Senate actually voted against the numbers, this unlimited tariffs on Canada. So what we're seeing is the more that we get a handle on what the tariffs are going to be, it's going to affect gross national product. And so that's one of the big things. As we sort of, the markets are forward looking, and also these economic numbers reflect, they don't reflect an immediate response by the market. So you're going to start to see now how tariffs have been affecting us since February, March, and April as we get more. So there was sort of an initial boost in GDP, then it sort of got weak. It's also a function of unemployment, right? We're seeing that because of higher interest rates for longer, the real estate and housing sector have been frozen, right? And if you think about it, real estate and housing are a huge employer of people in the United States and the biggest part of our economy. And so that's really been a big problematic, thinking about it, from people who are, growing lumber to people who are actually building.
66 guys, when you look up on my screen and you see buy, we're looking to get long. And when you see sell, we're looking to get short.
Anyway, I will, if you have more questions for me, I'm here. If not, I can pass it back to Davey.
David, were you trying to talk to your room there again?
All good. We're good.
Anyway, so that was the initial boost, and then it once again softened as we start to see jobless claims go up the most in 2.5 years, in 4 years actually, and then we saw these reassessment of the numbers there's a year-over-year number of actually jobless non-farm payroll jobs that were added to the market, and in fact it turned out they were 900,000 less than anticipated, and so that was where that initial boost came from, and that's where the initial the impact came from.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Really good stuff. Jay here says, my take, we've been straight up since April. 5 to 10% pullback will be healthy. Yeah, that's absolutely what we've all kind of been on here. In fact, if you recall, Jay, we were looking for that leading up to September for the seasonality event that we suspected was coming.
Yeah. I question in this new world we're living in seasonality a lot, right? There's so many other factors and components that have been impacting our market in a way. So seasonality is sort of overrun by all the other crazy things going on. There's so many components to this, the unemployment and everything else, and tariffs add a whole nother factor to it. And then how the companies are able to respond to that. So you know what? Yes, seasonality is a big factor, but I think all the other things that go into, and also you've got a Fed that's trying to navigate its way through. At 5.5% interest rate, that really sort of stalled a lot of companies, a lot of business. And now as we head into, so this is the last thing I'll throw out to you. Historically, when you start to get into an interest rate cutting cycle historically, for once you get into that cycle for the next 12 months, every time, 9 out of 10 times that this has happened, the market has been higher by 16% over the last 100 years. So it's sort of a number to give people a more positive, as we're talking about the market pulling back, that gives people a little more of a positive outlook for what the next 6 to 12 months are going to look like. So we don't leave you with a gloom and doom moment.
Okay. All right, David, did you get any of your orders to fill here ahead of the open?
Hold on one sec. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I just want to add one thing to Pete. You have to consider the fact where the market is now when we're doing these interest rate cuts. You know what I mean? It's not, the market is at all-time highs and has been making all-time highs, significantly, for the last 6 months. So it's not like we're starting at the same point with these interest rate cuts that we have in the past, right? We got one of our trades that got hit. I will show you guys. Okay. This was a fib that one of my people in the room popped out there, if you remember correctly. We had a little order out in Tesla at 432.40. Okay. That was a Fibonacci that we had out there. Let me get my charts up again so I can show you guys exactly.
Okay, they were actually on the screen. While you're figuring that out, though, let me take care of this. Market Sniper, can you go over what's happening for all of us that just joined, like the movers? Yeah, we talked about some of the movers here. There's really only a couple that I think you need to have on your list here today if you're looking for these for day trades. PEPG, PepGen, is one of them. We talked about that. We put the catalyst there in the chat. PepGen here, they announced the some data for their DM1 patients, and they also reported an offering here. PepGen trading higher. SPRC was the second one. This one actually has a pretty decent setup as we move up off the pre-market lows through the VWAP. We're actually consolidating and holding and building above the VWAP here on SPRC. This was trading higher on the company announcing plans to launch a quantum computing-enabled 3D protein modeling initiative for its drug discovery. So I think they just threw quantum into that PR there. But this is what's going on with SPRC. The other one here was EVAX. This had a catalyst here for out-licensing its EVX-83 vaccine candidate to MSD for $7.5 million cash payment with up to $592 million in milestones and royalties. We also had 13's cousin on here, but we all know about this one. It is holding one of the lows here from yesterday's after-hour session. We'll see if we get back to the VWAP. As soon as we open, I'll flip over to the main workspace, and we'll track all of these movers and how they're moving when that gets going, Market Sniper. Also, 13 is in the chat, so if you have questions on any of these specifics, go ahead and ask. He'll be available, and he will be on here in about 43 minutes. All right, Dave, let me put your charts back on. You're good to go.
No problema. Yeah, so we got one trade set up based on a Fibonacci that we had this morning. We had an order out down in Tesla at 432.40. If you look at the low sale, guys and girls, in Tesla, it was 432.27. It went 13 cents below our support level and just paid, where are we? Almost $1.60 on that trade. So good start for the private trading room. We got in at 432.40, just took $1 and $1.50 out of the trade. When we are day trading, guys and girls, when I'm trading stocks, what's very important to me, one of the things is the ATR, okay? That is the average true range. What that does is take the last 14 5-minute candlesticks, add them up, and give you the range in the stock over those last 14 5-minute candlesticks. The reason this is important because I use it for my profit, my stop loss, and my profit target. So I know when I'm making a trade in Tesla, okay, that I'm going to have a stop order at about $1.50, and my profit target is going to be between $1.50 and $2. And it exactly paid on both of those levels. Gave us $1.50 and gave us $2 out of that trade. So that was a good way to start the day for us. Let's check out some of the orders that we have out here. Okay, and the ESs now. And again, the spiders, guys, are just hanging on that level. You guys were talking about a 5% pullback or whatever it is. Let me show you guys the daily chart. Okay. If we were to pull back to our 65 EMA, this is my 65 EMA here, and we haven't done that for the last 6 months. That puts us at, now let's go to the SPYs, I'm sorry. That puts us at 636. That would be a 30-point pullback. There is exactly your 5% pullback. So not out of the question, not unusual, not anything to be scared about. But this level would bring us right back down 5%. So,
David, wouldn't you be encouraged if we get that? I feel like that would actually set up potential long. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that would set up potential longs on some equities that we've been waiting to get at discounted prices.
100%. Absolutely, 100%. Listen, I have several stocks that I'm long-term invested in. I sell them from time to time, all right? Because eventually, guys and girls, and no one can time the market, okay? Yeah, we're going to get a 5% pullback in this market. I can't tell you from when. I can't tell you how or what's going to make it happen. We'll probably get a 10% pullback in this market at some point.
We got a 20% pullback in April.
Exactly. Now, if we go back to April, this was it. Let's see if this is it. Yeah, I think we were at April 18th. I think this was the day when the SPYs pulled back to 481.80. That was our 20% pullback in the market. I had an emergency meeting with my whole team that night and said, guys, we are buying. Tomorrow morning when the market opens, we are buying. And the NVIDIAs, the Teslas, the Googles, the Amazons, the Microsofts, those are the ones that I look to buy when we get those big giant pullbacks. They're nothing to run away from. They're healthy. They're healthy, and it's good for the market. And it's due. Again, for the most part, I'm a day trader. Look, our 401ks have been spectacular. All good. Thank God. Nobody has to worry about that for the time being. But for trading purposes, it's also difficult to day trade when markets just go up day after day after day after day after day.
It's actually easier when the market is pulling. It's much easier to find relative strength. We do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, 100%. And even now, guys, if we look at the SPYs, it's still hanging. It has not broken that daily 15 EMA. We're hanging on it. So look, who knows? Maybe we just build from here. I don't know. We'll see what happens the rest of the day. It was 657.80. So we're like 20 cents above that. So we're hanging out here. We'll see what the opening brings in 9 minutes. I'm going to go over all our orders, especially the ones we have in stocks for you guys. Tesla, we got hit on the first one. That worked. Palantir, I have a little feeler order down at the 172.30. That is our daily level. Let's look where we got that from. Okay. That is our daily 15 EMA. Just simply our daily 15 EMA. We'll start buying a little if that gets down there. Let's go to our futures. Okay, our S&P 500 futures. We have a little bit at 50 on this pivot point, and we have a little order to short it now, guys and girls. If we get up to like our 65 EMA, right around 73 to 75. So let's adjust up a little bit on the opening. Be patient. Just remind me, we'll give away some of those free accounts before we get out of here, Ryan, so people can try to start trading futures without.
Well, I'll tell you what. You want to give maybe a couple of them away now, and then maybe a little bit later. What do you think?
We can do that. Yeah, I have.
Why don't we? Okay, why don't we do a handful of them now, and I'll remind you again, maybe 10 minutes before you sign off here, and we'll knock out the rest of them.
Perfect. I'm going to give you the honors. You pick 5 names. I'm going to post the email. Okay, that you have to send this email to my tech guy, and he will send you the code for the free account. So let me post this email, wsgta.com@gmail. gmail.com. Okay, everybody, if you hear your name, you're going to send an email to wsgta.com@gmail.com. wsgta.com@gmail.com. And Ryan, I'm going to give you honors. You pick 5 names, so
okay.
Don't think that I am being biased here.
I do not see your email there in the chat, so let me make sure I get that correct, and I'll go ahead and post it just to make sure.
I'm posting it, just not taking it for some reason. gmail.com. wsgta.com@gmail.com.
Is this the email here? I'm going to throw it in
right
the
there.
chat.
I just posted it again from Wall Street Global Trading Academy.
I don't see it in our YouTube chat here.
There it
no.
is. Benzinga got it.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, that was it. So this is the correct email, right?
That is the correct email.
Okay, and you just want me to select
Yeah,
5 people? You don't want me to
random. This way
draw
people-
or anything?
Pick 5 people at random. I will write down their names and send an email to that spot, and you will get a free. And I suggest when you get the free account to open up the $50,000 account. It's going to be for free. And then if you have any questions about anything, you can email me. You can come and hang out in the trading room for a week next week, okay? And we will go over futures for the entire week for you guys. So even if you're trading stocks and you're a stock trader and that's all you want to trade, okay? Learn how to trade futures because of the low barrier to entry. All right? All right, it's all yours, Ryan. Take it
All
away.
right.
5 names.
I'm just going to pick them here. Here we go. I'm kind of randomizing my chat here. All I have are the YouTube handles. So when you email, be sure to include your YouTube handle. Okay.
Perfect.
Be sure to include your YouTube handle. The first winner right here. And bang, Matt Winch, you'll take one. You got one, buddy. That is our first winner here, Matt. Next, let me shake this up again here. Next one, Linda McCall, you are a winner.
Boom.
You are a winner here. Okay, let me try and do this again real quick. Scroll down, get some new names in here. All right, next one here. We are going to pick you guys. You guys are awesome. Mama Bear says, pick me, Ryan. Done, Mama Bear. You are a winner. Keep being an awesome mom out there. Be sure to shoot an email to the email that was posted here in the chat. Next one I'm going to pick here real quick is going to be Retro. Retro, you are a winner. Horns up, baby. Horns up for Retro. All right, one more here. Don't worry if you don't get called here, folks, because we're going to give 5 more away in a little bit. Let me go ahead and pick another one here. Kelly AB says, me, please. Being polite and nice will get you everything around here, Kelly. It will get you everything around here. Kelly, you are a winner. Those 5 people, please email the email posted in chat. I'll go ahead and repost it here in the chat so that it's easier for you. And if you did not win, do not despair. We got 5 more coming in a little bit.
Guys, we will do this every Thursday, okay? We will give 10 accounts to people every Thursday that we're here. Also, if you don't win a free account, okay, and you want to open up a account with Apex, use the code, and if you guys can pop this in for me, very simple, WSGTA. If you use that code, anytime you open up an Apex account, you will get the best discount that they have, 80%, 90%. So if you just use that code, you will get the best discount that they have at Apex. And if anyone has questions about opening up an Apex account, if you don't mind, Ryan, just popping my email up there again, dgreen927@yahoo.com. Anybody who is here, come hang out with us for an entire week next week for free in our live trading room. Okay.
Yeah, there he got it. He got it. They got it. My producer's got it. It's got our back.
Guys are on the ball, baby.
All right, David, 3 minutes till we open here. Run down what you got prior to the open. I'm going to step away for just one moment. I'll be back before the opening bell. BRB.
All right, ladies and gents. So I'm going to go over all the orders that we have out here. Okay, see if they still make sense to do. So we'll start with the S&P 500 futures. All right. So we're sitting at 66.61. We're going to bring our bid up. And guys, I am trading live, okay, in my real trading account. And if I get a trade set up on Apex, I will show you that. All right, so I am bidding 66.50 on a pullback, and I am offering up here on my 65 EMA at 66.73. Long down here, short up at my 65 EMA. That's what I have out in the MES. Let's look at gold. Okay, gold. We have a bid down at 37.49, which is our previous day low, and we got a short up at 37.84.90, which is a Fibonacci level if we get up to this level. Palantir. That going the other way. Okay, Palantir, we had a bid down on a daily level at 172.30. We'll leave it out there. We're trading at 174. I am going to put a short now, guys, in Palantir. If we spike all the way up to the 200 EMA, So you guys know technical analysis for the most part, right? Most people here, give me some ones. Are you comfortable reading your charts and stuff? Comfortable finding support and resistance? I will share all the technical analysis that I use that works for us before we get out of here today. Someone remind me to do that. Okay. So I'm going to put a short on my 200 EMA to sell at we'll call it 178 if we spike up $2.50. That is my 200 EMA in Palantir. Put a little order up there. Boom. So we are always looking for both sides of a trade. Could be both sides in the same stock. And we are day traders. This is not a dirty word, guys and girls. I scalp. Okay. When I get into a trade, hello everyone, nice to meet you. I'm trying to pass a 250,000 Apex account. You're in the right spot. Again, we'll talk more before we get out of here a little bit later. Okay. That is my 200 EMA. That's why I want to put a little short. I always like to take it easy on the opening. Okay. Just relax, let things set up. There's no reason to be in a hurry to do anything. Chances are none of these orders are going to get hit on the open. Then we readjust. We take another look. We see what's moving and shaking. And we relax. I will never make a trade unless my charts tell me to make a trade. Trump has a meeting at 11:15. Thank you, Trin. I'm just trying to see if we have any more Fed speak or anything else coming up.
There's your opening bell. We're good to go, folks.
Okay, so Trump has a meeting at 11 o'clock. Perfect.
All right, right out of the open here, seeing Ondas trade up a little bit out of that. I know that was pulling here in the pre-market. As far as some of those movers that we got, not seeing a whole lot move here. AMPY, this right back at the VWAP. Maybe we'll watch that one. SPRC, another one of our movers here, continuing to push away from the VWAP. Watch that 548 level on that.
Yeah, Brian, feel free to take over the charts if you have something that's setting up for you to do.
Yeah, nothing's setting up yet here. We're basically just watching the opening print. David, I'd actually like to get your opinion on this. I know you do it a little bit differently with the future, so the mechanics might be a little bit different. But sometimes with some of these movers, we seem to notice more success by maybe waiting 5 or 10 minutes from the opening print, let things settle, kind of adjust, kind of get that chaos out of the way. It almost seems like we get some cleaner setups that way.
100%.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. And sometimes even longer than that.
Right.
You know, I'm never in a hurry to do anything. There's no FOMO. There shouldn't be, and there is for a lot of people. Don't get FOMO. Let things set up. This market's going to be here all day. It's going to be here all month or a week or a year. Relax. Take a chill pill. There's no reason to be running into anything.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like David was saying, let the setup come to you instead of trying to chase a setup. Instead, let it come to you.
100%. And we can see the SPYs have broken that daily level by a little bit now. So we'll see what the next move is. Not much. Not much going on. Looking at the ESs, and we have a bid down at 50, which we're going to give another minute or two down on that pivot point. And what you're looking at here now, guys, this is my 5-minute opening range breakout. Okay. We do a lot of trades based on the opening range breakout. But if we don't hit my level in the next minute or so, we're going to cancel and look for a lower level. I know we have 45 out there, which I kind of like a little better, right? Let's go down a little bit. 45. Didn't quite get to the 50 level anyway. And this is a function of, guys, all right, Tesla. Tesla just got the absolute smackdown to a 429 level. Let's take a look. Okay. So we just got in on a feeler order at 429.03. Well, check this out. Okay. We got down to 429.03. It just rallied $1. So I didn't have time to go in there and grab some of my position, but a bunch of people in my trading room just bought that at 429. Guys, just take $1, get out, and move on to the next trade.
Okay, real quick here, did have a setup here, SPRC. So this is building right above the VWAP. Watch for it to take out that pre-market high candle. 13 has it. If 590 is recaptured, our next target, 670, 725. It's got to go there. It's wild here, so maybe still wait on this one. But setup coming here, SPRC. All over the place.
Now, when you get into a trade, and I guess it varies for everybody, what kind of size are you looking to do in a $6 stock, a $5
Yeah,
stock?
so it really depends, right? If this is a mover, especially if this is one where we're kind of skeptical of how this is going to actually work, kind of lower the size on that. We also preach scaling in here. So generally speaking, it depends, probably 300 to 500 shares per buy. A full position of a day trading stock like this is probably around 2,000 shares. But again, that varies for everybody here. Share size of what I do and what David does is entirely unimportant. We've been very, very clear on that for years here. It is all about your own risk that you're taking. David, with day trades here, I'm a scalper too, right? For day trades here, we view these as higher risk just kind of generally. So we want to kind of control some of that risk at the outset by sizing appropriately. How about you? What kind of size are you using?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, when I'm trading futures, let me just get this order out in Tesla. Guys, you good with Tesla starting at 426? Previous week close. Mike, you like it down there a little bit? Bump, bump. So our first Tesla trade, we got a quick dollar out of. Now we have our previous week close down at 426. I have it out there. So I got a little marker. We'll see if we can grab a little more if we get down to that level. And we'll give it a couple of minutes or two. When I'm trading the futures, guys and girls, those results I showed you earlier, I think I'm up like $35,000 over the last 40 days. I am trading 2 contracts every time I make a futures trade. And if I make 2 points on that, I'm making $200. You trade 3 contracts, you're making $300, so on and so forth. So once you learn the game, it doesn't take a long time to get these accounts to the point where you can start taking money from them. All right, let's just go over some of the stuff that we have out there. Let's look at our ESs, futures. Still never hit that 50 level. So we got down to, what we just get down, guys, 51.25, and we didn't get it. All right, so we're just being patient. We'll see what happens. We are down now at 45. Cancel a short for now. Let's see what gold's doing. Gold is doing nothing. It's dead. Palantir, where are we? Palantir never got up to our level, so it's kind of just hanging here. All right, so we have a Fibonacci now in the MESs of the S&P 500 futures at 65.45. So we got a little order out there to buy a couple. We'll see what happens if we get down to that level. We got down to 49.50. Things are starting to get a little stretched on the downside now, guys and girls. Okay? Starting to get a little stretched on the downside.
And as far as some of these movers go, this weakness is helping us with the relative strength. CPOP here, this is one of our movers that we were talking about. Right to the 196 resistance level. Beautiful. It's battling right there. We've got 215. If it can clear this out and hold it, it's kind of all over the place here. Pretty good size being thrown across. There we go. 196 down, 2 down, 215. Your next level higher. High print in the market here, 206 thus far.
Gorgeous. And we can see the spiders are 2 points below that daily level now. So we really broke down. It set up for a better short than it did long. So our next little level I have in the spiders, we have our previous week low at 654.40. Oh, maybe we see that level, 654.40. We'll see what happens in the next little bit. But we're definitely getting some big follow through to the downside. Big follow through. All right, guys, we're in small at 45. Let's try to take a quick point out of it if we can get it at 46. And I'll explain to you guys this trade after it works out one way or the other. Okay, we sold half of our position at 46, guys. Let's not lose more than a point now. So we'll have a 44 stop. I'll explain this, guys, to you when the trade plays out, if it plays out. What we did is we had a Fibonacci, okay? And this market is so weak, so I don't know what really is going to happen here. But we had a Fibonacci level at 65.45 in the ESs, okay? So we bought 2 contracts. We sold one for a point profit, which was $100. And now we don't want to lose more than a point on it. So worst case scenario, we will have a break-even trade on this trade. And we're trying to get 2 points out of it. Boom, chakalaka.
David, really quick question here on the strategy. When the trade starts moving in your direction, do you ever just kind of like raise a stop beneath it just to make sure that you lock in gains in case that goes against you real fast?
That's exactly what we're doing right now. So we locked in a profit. We are not going to lose money on this trade now if it turns against us.
Perfect. That's awesome. That type of risk control, that's exactly what we're trying to preach around here, if you will. And
we just got out of the trade break even. We made $50 and we got out of the trade break even. So now we will look for another level on the downside, right? We don't have a hell of a lot here now. Our next spot is like 11 on the chart. So let's see what happens on the next little level here. The market is very weak, guys. So we know what my thought process is now. I want to be short if the market can rally up. If we can rally up to one of our trend lines now, in most anything that we're looking at, I want to put a short on. I'm going to change my 5-minute orb. Let me look at gold. Gold. I'm in my private trading room, guys. I have about 100 people there, and they are posting levels too. 37, 60, 30 to buy. 60, 30. All right, give me a minute. We'll look at that.
Okay, real quick here, a couple of things. First of all, EVAX, which dipped and so far has held the 65 EMA. That battle is ongoing here. A break beneath that probably sends this stock lower. EVAX, 65 EMA there on the 5-minute. We also saw SPRC here, did break that 6, is going higher here. So ring that register into that. Good stuff if you had SPRC. We'll see if we get EVAX to hold and maybe reverse here. Good stuff out of the open here today. And tennis is life, as mentioned several times already. 13 will be joining us in just about 21 minutes. He hasn't gone anywhere, and he's here in the chat, buddy.
Excellent. Great job. Great trade. Great job, guys. So we're still showing weakness in everything here. Gold, even gold is down, right? Everything's down today so far. All right, futures. Now, what I'm going to start looking for in these futures now, if we get a relative strength below 20, okay, what that's telling me is we're probably going to be in for a reversal at some point. If we get this relative strength down a little lower, we're probably going to be looking for a reversal at some point. I'd like to see like 35, 36. If we can get down a little lower than we are right now, but we're due for a little bit of a reversal now. We'll see if it comes.
And yes, folks, SPRC is halted 650 on that break to the upside. Volume looks good on that name too.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice job, guys and girls over there.
CPOP, another one of those movers, still battling here at resistance. We did peak above that, and we poked above 2 briefly, but it is still at that initial resistance area. Next one here, 215. That's going to be CPOP. Charlie Papa, Oscar Papa.
Scotty, you like 35 for a little bit or 26? Which one do we like? Guys, I'm kind of in a take a chill pill mood here right now. Okay, this market
I don't blame you.
There is no support that we're looking at anywhere. I'm kind of hands in my pockets right now. Let these things do what they got to do. All right. 26 I like in the MESs. That would be a far from moving average trade. What I'm looking for if we get really extended. 66. 26. Okay. What I'm looking for is if we get really extended to the downside and get below a 20 RSI, I will switch to my 1-minute chart. See if we can get a little green reversal bar. And then jump in full strength. So for now, though, guys and girls, this market acts like crap. There is no reason to be running into anything. Everybody just take a chill pill.
Yep. The one thing that I'm seeing here, EVAX so far is holding the 65 EMA. Right now, it's trying to bust over the 9. There we go. Let's see if we got target here. 467 is going to be the VWAP. It's really going to need to clear out 430. That test coming right here. Bang. There we go. EVAX popping through that resistance area. I would, as David was just mentioning, a lot of weakness out there. Do not try to hang on to some of these. Definitely trim into strength moves if you happen to catch any of them. All out EVAX there, 435. Another one right here out of the open.
Ring the register. Nice job. Yeah, I mean,
again, more now.
I am not a hurry to do anything right now, guys and girls. Next real level we have in the ES is that 26 Fibonacci level, which we like. Let's see if we can get down there. We're working on 3 consecutive red bars down. We have absolutely no rally yet. So let's relax. As far as futures are concerned, we are taking a little chill pill.
David, when you have a downside level in a situation just like this, you're watching the S&P come in, you have a downside level that you kind of like. What do you like more? Do you like a test and hold, or do you like a little peak below and a quick recapture to give you that entry point?
I am going to start at my entry point small. Okay. And then I'll look for confirmation. If it holds that, that's where I'll add to my stock. So starting very, very small when it hits my level. Look, this way, if it hits my level and it spikes right up from there, at least I have a little bit, right? If it hits my level and breaks through it, then I'm not committed to anything. So I'm always going to have a little bit of an order out at every level that I see. If it holds that level, that's when we will just jump in immediately and add to it.
Okay. And really quickly here on the EVAX trade, as 13 was mentioning, raise your stop here. This did pull back. So far, it is held and retested that 9 EMA. I've got that value at 425. Watch that level. Hopefully, if you took this one, you raise stop. Vic, by the way, saying 13's always on because when he's not, you're causing the market to crash. 13, we all have to look at you. You're causing the market to crash here today. Of course, we kid.
That's a beautiful thing. So you know what the bottom line was today, guys and girls? The key to this, especially short on the futures and everything else, on our daily chart, our spiders could not hold that level. We blasted right through. And that was around 658. We are down 3 points in the spiders from there. That is huge. You know, we're down 3 points in the spiders from there. So our next level I'm looking for, and I don't know if it's going to happen today, around 651. That is our next real support in the spiders, around 651. That's it. So we chill, man. Now, spiders, we're coming to our previous week low at 654.30, and we're getting really extended to the downside. We almost have below a 20-hour SI. So we'll start buying a little spies if we get to 654.30. I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay, folks, EVAX are losing that 9 EMA and coming in a little bit here. NUAI, this is one that was mentioned from yesterday, by the way. That looks like this is trying to poke higher. We did get above that 110 pre-market high level. SGBX, maybe this is curling. We actually have a pretty good target there at the VWAP if this can really get rolling. Looks like it needs to take out that impulse move. The high of that opening candle there, 980. So 980 probably going to be, or might send that here for a potential 10 and 1067 test.
Let me take a look. Oil 15-minute chart. Let's look. I'm getting interested in gold, guys, if we can get this little pullback down to where we are at 49. Earl. Where do you like it? I like 63.70 if we go in that direction.
On the 15-minute chart, it's right on the 200 EMA.
Nah, I would wait then a little bit. Unless you grabbed it already, I would wait. Take a chill pill, man. Starting to get a little bounce. Things just got a little bit oversold there and almost everything that we looked at. See, we're getting these little green bars here now for a bounce. So I'm hoping we get a significant bounce so we can short some of these things if they get up to their trend lines. But just an oversold bounce we just got. If you look, guys, we got our relative strength below 20. Right there. And if we go to our 1-minute chart, there's the green bar that signals the reversal, and it gave you 5 or 6 points from there. So that was your nice far from moving average trade. Yeah, the far from moving average trade worked perfectly, but we'll wait.
Smoke Tuna says, seeing lots of selling here today. Wait for a good setup. Tuna, I'm with you on that. I saw a couple of them, but they were quick. I wouldn't even consider them good setups. Let me know if there's anything that you're looking at, whether it's SPRC, EVAX, or excuse me, SPRC, EVAX, or LAC. This is actually dipping to the 200 EMA on the 5-minute as we speak. Let me know, Tuna, if anything sets up. We'll throw it on screen.
As will we. All right, so let's see if we can get a little bit more of a rally here. In the futures, guys, we want to put a short up on the trend, which would be 66.52. That is our trend line. Top of the orb also is right about, bottom of the orb is right about 66.52. So let's put a little short out there. 66.50.
LAC continuing to bounce here, by the way. 13's cousin. How we doing on that? That's still kind of holding that double bottom there that was made in the pre-market. We'll see if that gets rolling here. I'm still kind of skeptical on that. SPRC, we now have a break of that pre-market high. Again, anyone that was on this from the movers list, grats, really good buying volume. We took that high out, bang, another pop. This on halt watch to the upside. Again, if you took this from lower, make sure at minimum you've trimmed here. 13 can't even type fast enough, but this continues up. $8, your next resistance, SPRC.
I love it. All right, so we had a big bounce off the 31, guys and girls. We just bounced off 10 points in the MES. So a nice big rally up. Off that far from moving average trade, gave like 5 points in 2 seconds. Let's go around the horn, see what we're doing here. Gold. I've been around. Gold is continuing to go down. All right, gold. We got our Order out at 37.49. I like that, guys. That is our previous day low. I like that a lot. If we get down to gold, let's leave that out there. See if we can keep getting a smackdown here. 37.49.
And for those of you looking at PEP-G here real quick, so far we lost that near-term pre-market low. I think you probably have another support area in here at 490-ish. 472 is going to be your 200 EMA on the 5. I don't think there's any rush to try and trade this one right here. I would absolutely wait this one out a little bit. Absolutely wait this one out. CPOP was the other one that you folks were taking a look at. Here it is. Look at that. We peaked above that 194 resistance, peaked above 2. Big pull, actually lost the VWAP in that pull. This too, wait for this to set back up. No reason to rush that. Common theme here, whether we're looking at futures or stocks, no reason to rush. Take a chill pill, I think is what you like to say here.
100%.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing here.
Yeah. So we just got a big rally in the SPYs and the S&Ps. So we'll see where this takes us. Hopefully we get up a little higher. We get up into that 50 range. I would love to see that. So we just had a big bounce from an oversold, very oversold market. So we'll see what this next little bar here.
Now, Dave, let me ask you another hypothetical here. If the market, okay, so we saw weakness in the pre-market. We saw the market pull right out of the open. You were all over that. Now we're starting to see a bounce. What do you need to see to think to yourself, you know what, bottom for the day is in. We're probably going to hold this area. I could start looking for long trades. What is it that you're looking for?
I can tell you the signal to be long. Okay, it already happened. It's not here. So for everybody who's out there, when we see a relative strength index that gets below 20, okay, that is going to be our signal, Ryan, for the reversal.
Okay.
And it gave it to us. Let's go to the 1 minute chart. I mean, it doesn't even get much better than this. It gave it to us. This is your 1 minute chart. See 10 red bars in a row, right? This green bar signaled the reversal right here. So the second we see a green bar on a 1 minute chart, that is signaling our reversal. And this is such a good trade because our stop order is going to go at the low sell. So we could have gotten in this at like 66.33, and there is your 10 points on that. Boom. Oh, we are short Palantir, guys. Let me pull this down so we can look at this.
All right.
We short Palantir. Let's check this out, guys and girls. Okay, we shorted Palantir at 178. All right. So we missed covering a bunch of it already, but let's try to get 40 cents on half. And I know you guys are doing bigger size than me. Okay, so let's go to the Palantir chart. You can go after this, but here's Palantir, guys. We hit the 200 EMA. Okay. All right, we are short at 50 in the. Hold on a second. Get rid of this.
And
guys,
I think
great trade in the futures, guys. Start covering some of our futures. I'll show you guys this in a minute.
I'll leave your screen on here. I think Peter might have an update for us. Peter, how's it going there on the floor?
Just give me 1 second.
There you go. Hi, guys.
1 second, Pete.
Yeah, go, David. Go.
MESs, guys. We just made 10 points on the short and MES. Cover. 10 points, guys. Some news must have just came out, but we made 10 points on our short in the future.
Go.
Did they sell them back down? Oh, yeah. Wow. They're turning them around.
Let me just explain to everybody.
Go,
I don't know what happened, guys, but we put our short in exactly on our 15 EMA at 50, and we just made 8 points on it. I think we got lucky with news. Guys, in Palantir, let's clean this up, okay? Guys, clean up Palantir. We just made $1.50 on Palantir on the short. Clean that up, please.
Isn't David amazing? It's technical analysis. Fantastic.
All right. Go ahead, Pete.
No, I mean, it's just, look, where, you're showing them on a technical chart what's going on. When you see oversold reactions, obviously you see the technical setup, and there's nothing better than watch. Look, I've been doing this forever, but you always wonder, like, why is it that the technicals and the charts work? Right. And the bottom line is it's fascinating in the biggest way. Some of it's historic. Some of it's just the dynamic of oversold. Everyone's watching similar charts.
Unbelievable, John, right?
Market's starting to break down a lot, but this technical analysis in the absence of anything else works. It's worked through COVID. It's worked through the last 4 to 5 months, which has just been a really difficult market to trade. So that's why we were so excited to even get on with you guys, because trading the opening bell, there's so many new people out there. I have a massive new following, but obviously there's this 50 million new retail traders in the marketplace who have taken either a course or are getting their feet wet with Apex. And they still, when they wake up in the morning and they sit down at their computers, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to find a stock. I have thousands of DMs. Like, what's my first move? What do I look for? Do I have a watch list, right? How do I know when to get in, when to get out? The amazing thing about technicals is the charts tell you. This is like a don't think environment, right? Thinking is actually counterintuitive to day trading or scalping, and scalping is not a bad word. That's the funny thing about this. So,
you're in the right spot. You guys are in the right spot. We scalp here every day, folks.
Yep. That's what it is about. Look, as a day trader, right, by definition, we're here to make small bits of money every hour, every day, every week, every month, so that we're green at the end of it, right? We're not here to hit home runs. We're here to hit singles and doubles. We're here to hit singles and doubles. And look, today couldn't be a better day to do it, right? We had this first final breakdown. There was a little bit of a further push. We're not talking capitulation by any means, but it was the first little downward move, and then it bounced back. Look, there was probably 15 handle move on the spine on the upside, and then you just got this great lucky trade on the downside. So, you know what? Right now, once the market opens, you have to realize that overnight, whatever made people, it was obviously a lot of the economic data that came in this morning, plus the overbought conditions that we're in, made people finally say, you know what? Also realize this. We are coming into the end of the third quarter. When you have a third quarter that's been super upbeat, as this one has, there are two things. If the market's down, you have this old thing on Wall Street called window dressing, right? Where they're being judged at the end of a quarter by where their P&L is. And if the market's been down, they like to sort of boost it up so that they look good. They're being judged by their P&L at the end of the month. In a market that's been flatlining off the top, people are going to start to take profits. Why wouldn't you take a little bit off the table and then look at the fourth quarter and see how it is again? And so now this is probably profit taking on top of the fact that we're getting economic data that's showing a weakening market as a function of tariffs, right? Tariffs are starting to impact it, and it takes month after month to start to see how they'll impact the corporations, the supply chain, and then the individual, the consumer spending and consumer sentiment. We're coming into holiday seasons, right? And so people are going to start to consider what to do here. And we're not seeing any kind of interruption of supply chain, but we're starting to see prices rise. And as far as everything goes, I know I track it with this guy, Dan Ives, who I've, we do a couple of talking things together, right? He's a tech analyst for Wedbush. And
what color jacket does he have on today?
You know what? It's purple with paper clips. He just came out with a clothing line. Right, he just got dubbed the most best dressed man on Wall Street. So it couldn't be more of a perfect, fun relationship. He and I go on CNN. We talk about it. The guy's, look, he talks about the AI revolution, that we're in the second inning of a 9-inning game that's probably going into extra innings. As far as that goes, there's so much trillions of dollars in capex that's being sent. We saw that with Google, Meta, all the large firms, Microsoft, Oracle. That was that big day in Oracle that was up 25%. It was not a matter of the fact that the earnings were good. It was a matter of fact that they were committing billions and billions of dollars to this AI data centers and building all that. So, you know what, you guys start to talk about quantitative in the beginning of this call. That was a sector that was hot for a minute. Then Jensen Huang came out and said that this quantitative sector is going to be 30 years out. It's not something happening soon. That whole sector got decimated pretty aggressively, and now it's become the flavor of the moment again. You're seeing stocks like, and I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not recommending this, but Rigetti and Soon, these stocks have gone from $8, $9, $10 up into the 30s, because those are the secondary and tertiary derivative trades of the AI trade. People may not want to jump into, NVIDIA and some of these higher beta names. They may want to look for that's why the Russell has had such a nice bounce, and it traded a record high for the first time in 2.5 years, because there's a lot of small cap, mid cap, AI based names in that index that are attractive. They're more attractive price wise. There's more value in them than trying to buy stocks at record highs. That's the quandary people get, and new traders get scared. Like, why would I ever want to buy a market that's at record highs? Look, if today's highs are tomorrow's lows, then it's still a good deal. But you know what? Markets go up, markets go down. That's what they do. Today, we're just having a bit of a pullback. One day does not make a market. You know what? We'll have to regroup and see what happens tomorrow. Now, sort of the market for the next hour or two is going to go into, sort of the torrid zone. You're going to have to watch individual indexes and see some news will start come out. We're going to start seeing technical moves as you just saw it. Once the opening happens here, which is where I have a bit of an edge, I'm able to see the order flow that comes in to the floor of the exchange for the opening bell. Sometimes it dislocates from where it's trading pre-market or away, right? And then there's a little bit of a morning trade. That's what David does, which is the orb trade, which is that opening breakout, right? And then once that's done, then the market's sort of on its own and it's doing its thing. I'm trying to see what are we doing now? Well, okay, so we're now retesting the lows of the day, aren't we? Is that where we are, Davey?
Yes.
So
Yes.
All right, real quickly here. We're running out of time. Real quick, SPRC, this opened out of the halt, held the VWAP and the 9 EMA. It's trying to bounce. I think you could probably trade that against those. Be careful there. And folks, our big time winner here, Ondas, continuing to absolutely rip. All of the weakness that we saw in the pre-market and out of the open has been absolutely deleted. This has now gone red to green here. ONDS continuing to trade up. Keep bringing that register on this, folks. I'm still long calls and the entire stock position. Guys, we are basically out of time. We got 5 more accounts to give away. Let's get that done right now.
Let me just get in here for 1 minute, guys and girls, because I want to tell you guys about these trading futures and trading 2 contracts. And I am nothing if not, I show everybody everything, okay? So this is my Apex account. I traded 2 contracts, and in that one trade, we made $860. So you can trade these accounts, 1 or 2 contracts. It gets you where you want to be. You do not have to be aggressive. And also, Peter, I take umbrage when you said we got lucky on a trade. We do not get lucky on trades. We put our orders out. We put our orders out where our technicals tell us to put our orders out. All right, let's give away 5 more accounts, okay? Let's put the email up there one more time, guys and girls. So 2 emails we're going to put up. wsgta.com@gmail.com, okay? This is going to be where you send to get your free account. And then we're going to put up dgreen927@yahoo.com. Everybody who is here is invited to my trading room next week to hang out. Yeah, Big Dave, everybody. Just send me an email. I will send you a link to my free live trading room next week. Everybody can come and hang out, and you'll really get a good sense as to what futures are, okay? That's
okay. Did I get really quickly? Did I get the email right here? WS.
That is for our winners. Yes, Ryan.
Yes.
And let's get mine up there so everybody can come hang out with me all next week for a week.
All right, producer, you've got it, right? Producer, you've got David's email. You've been putting it out there the last couple. There it is on the screen. Okay, am I going to pick 5 here?
You're picking 5 again.
All right, picking 5 winners here. First one here, bang. All rise. The judge, you are a winner, buddy. Please email that wsgta.com@gmail.com. We got 4 more to go here. Guess what, Mike? You're in luck. You're also a winner here. 3 more here. 3 more here. Let me just select the list here real quick. Dave Norby, you've been winning a lot recently. Let's see if you can win at Apex. You are a winner as well. Let's see who else was looking for one of these. Big Dave. You don't know about futures? Well, you are about to learn, buddy. You are a winner. 1 more to go here. 1 more winner to pick. Let's go ahead and grab one. Let's see here. Let's see who wants one. Here? Boop, boop. There we go. Let's see if I can pronounce this correct. Facundo, you are a winner. So, folks, please email both the wsgta.com and David. Get those accounts. Get it rolling.
Let me do a quick wrap up. 2 seconds. Am I on?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, listen, David and I have Wall Street Global Trading Academy. It's our academy teaching technical analysis, risk management. We have a futures course coming out. We'll talk about that the next time. We've done a partnership with Apex. We are the educational component. Apex is the accessibility component and the funding component. And Benzinga, we're so happy that all of us are together. This is a match made in heaven to be able to have your platform to disseminate this stuff. Trading the opening bell is what everybody needs. Everybody who has at least been in this market at all or has some sense is dying to figure out, what do I do first thing in the morning when I turn on my computer? Now you have a sense of what Dave does, how it works. Come and join us every Thursday from 8:30 to 10. We're thrilled to be here with you.
Boom. All right. Peter Tuchman live from the floor. David Green trading the futures. Guys, happy Thursday. Enjoy the rest of it. May it be profitable, and we'll catch you next week.
Have a great day, everyone. Happy trading.
All right, that is David Green and Peter Tuchman for Futures Forward. Now it's what you folks have all been waiting for. 13, there he is. How you doing, 13?
I'm having a pretty good morning. Lots of typing, more than I am used to, but still having a pretty good time. Good to see that some of these movers that we were looking at this morning provided some pretty good trades. Really
Absolutely. We had a couple of, sorry about that. We had a couple of good setups. SPRC actually looks like it is still bouncing here.
I'm not sure about this one right now. It might be good. It needs to recapture 670. That would be what we need to see next here. But if we don't get that, here we go. It's starting to push through to 670. But if we don't get this recapture of 670, it's starting to look like it might roll over. So we really do need to get back over that level. PEPG. Not sure if this is starting to turn around yet. It looks like it's trying to, but the volume doesn't seem like it's great enough. So wouldn't surprise me if this did manage to get back up to the 65 EMA or the VWAP and then get rejected. Just based on the way the volume looks, I don't have a lot of confidence that this is turning around quite yet. There may be another test beneath $5 coming before that. So not sure I'm down with PEPG quite yet. But we also had EVAX. That one's trying to get support from the 65 EMA, CPOP, that thing. So I was mentioning earlier, if you looked at what happened in February of 2024, man, this thing went on a run for like a couple of days, and then it came right back down, and it has been going lower. So anticipating some similar movement there with that. We might get another day where this pops as well, but I wouldn't be sticking around in it waiting for that to happen. This thing pops, and then it comes right back in and it continues lower. So really only good for a quick scalp or a day trade CPOP.
Okay. All right. 13, really good breakdown there. I hit EVAX here earlier today, and I also hit, it wasn't CPOP. What's that? What's the other one here? Real quickly, EVAX and SPRC, the 2 for 2 on those day trades here today.
Nice. Yeah, I got one that I did today. It's even harder to trade when you're typing all the time. So SPRC, that's the one trade I have. That was a really good one.
Yes, sir.
Got that on the open. We recaptured the 590 level, and then we went up to 765. That was fantastic. Hit the 725 level we were looking for. Now, as a matter of fact, we might be trying to push up to that right now. It's looking to recapture 7.
Yep.
So we may get another breakout here, but watch the volume, because I think that's going to tell you if it's going to happen or not. And right now at the moment, we just started this candle, so it may need some time, but this is not looking like we're going to get it out at the moment, or get that breakout at the moment. So we'll have to just wait and see if that volume comes in.
Absolutely. Looks like it's really doing its best to try and get through 7. Yeah. We'll see if it does that. CAPR, this is another stock that y'all folks were taking a look at here. This did grind up a little bit higher in the pre-market, had a little bit of volume flow right out of the open. This holding near the highs, I actually think this might go. If it breaks those highs, you might have a little bit more to the upside here. The news here, Capricor Therapeutics provides a regulatory update on one of its drug programs for Duchenne muscular dystrophy following a type A meeting. So getting some good data there. This holding steady by 16.5%.
Joseph Schmo, you're talking about CAPR having big potential. I don't even think I covered this one today, so I'm not sure where you disagree with me on this.
Yeah, this was not one that was at the top of the movers list. It actually made its best move on volume post open, but it looks like it's still in play here.
Yeah, you might be confusing with another one that I was talking about earlier, because I haven't covered CAPR this morning, and I don't know anything about what you're referring to as far as goes. Maybe you're probably right that this has some really good news. I just haven't covered this one, so let me know if this was this is a mistake about which ticker you're talking about, because I haven't covered this one this morning.
Okay, good stuff there. Cool. Okay.
AI Rod is saying that MP is flying, and then I'll look at NUAI as a tick.
So NUAI here looks like it stopped at 130. It's actually pulling back towards the VWAP. VWAP there 118, so maybe a load zone there for VWAP. We'll see. Take care of yourself, Supri.
Take care. Oh no, hey, no problem, Joseph. Tickers flying all over the place. We can get those wires crossed easy.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on here this morning. There is no question about it.
Now, as far as NUAI goes, this thing has been on a pretty nice run. but I don't know if I'd be wanting to step into this one right now when it has a daily RSI of over 82.
Absolutely. And Smoke Tuna here saying it's a big sell-off day, so breakouts might not work. Something to keep in mind here. This went right to 130. We're pulling back here. Don't necessarily try and trade this off a breakout. Smoke Tuna, as you always say, look for entry when it's lower. Focus on that entry when it's closer to a support. I think today is even more of a day where you really don't want to try those breakouts.
Yeah. Now, I will say that for NUAI, I can see the possibility of this maybe getting to 150. I don't have a lot of confidence that it will. But I could see how there could be a case made that it's trying to push up there, and it may briefly even do that and then come right back in. I don't think this is really something I'd want to trade right now with how extended it is.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think I'd hold off on this and wait for this to come back in. And if it does, looks like you got some pretty good support at $1.
SPRC here, this at the highs again here, 753, and it is halted.
Yep, halted. Yep. All right, so 765 is the high. We're just about 12 cents away. If we unhalt and continue upwards, $8 is the next resistance level. We have 860, and then 895 after that. And this thing, we've traded this a while back. Let me see when the last time we traded this was. This must have been beginning of the year when we traded this last in January. It's the last time I have all these levels hitting. So that's what I think. All right, back to the 5 minutes. So that's halted. What are these other names doing? Looks like EVAX is trying to make another go at VWAP, and the MACD on the 5 minutes starting to curl up. So as long as this continues sideways, it doesn't lose the 65 EMA. There's an opportunity here that this might be able to get over VWAP. So let's see if the volume can expand some more and do that, because that's
you and Smoke Tuna are literally reading from the same manual here. Keep an eye on the volume. That's going to be key. I completely agree with Tuna right here. If we can get a volume expansion into the VWAP and potentially through it, we might actually break that. That puts 550, the pre-market high, on deck if we get that. Really good stuff, guys. AMPY is also being mentioned here by Tuna. That's at the high. 605. Tuna, is this halted here? AMP, no. I see Prince. Not halted here. It is open.
As far as EVAX goes, when I'm looking at the the price action in the pre-market, there's it looks like it's about $5. Where once it got up there, it had a real hard time hanging out above there, and as soon as we got the move down, it literally just kind of knifed right through the $5 level. So to me, I'm thinking that $5 is going to be the big resistance area beyond VWAP that we'll have to watch for. Okay, so I looked at NUAI, ATCH. What's this about?
Yeah, that was a penny stock the other day. Let me see if it still is. Indeed, it is here. This did move through its VWAP. This actually might be flagging a possible break through that 86-cent handle. We do have the high up here, 96, 97 cents.
I like 94 as a resistance area there, and I also like 88. So 88 and 94 would be the two resistance areas that I see with this one.
Smoke Tuna saying today is not the day for chasing. I would amend that and say no day is the day for chasing, but even more important here today, no doubt.
Unless you're a dog and like cars, every day's a day for chasing.
I suppose that's true. I mean, tennis balls, any of that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. So EVAX, just kind of waiting to see what that ends up doing, if that can get through VWAP or not. Waiting for SPRC to unhalt. PEPG has really not done a whole lot this morning, but I don't think it's, we should just kind of write it off. I think if it loses the 200 EMA, then yeah, we could probably write that off, and it goes beneath 450, and then it's done. I don't think there's a trade there. But if we can start to turn back up here and recapture the 65 EMA and VWAP, then I think that there's going to be some better trading to be had here as we approach the 1030 mark. So as Lion was just saying, this is not a day for chasing. Just wait and see if these setups actually start to materialize, and if they do, we can try to take a position, and if not, we'll look at something else.
Okay, Chicago Realtor. Good morning, Ryan and 13. It's been a minute. It has. Welcome back. Love the show and love seeing the legendary Peter Tuchman and David Green on this morning. They are going to be on Thursdays. We are going to have the Futures Forward segment on Thursdays only. So Chicago Realtor, if futures are your thing and you want to keep checking that out, every Thursday we're going to do that for you.
And Smoke Tuna, I'm right there with you in agreement, but there's this one problem that I have, and it's we're going to need volume for it. There's a large seller in the way at 460, and that's where my VWAP is. It's just right at 461, 460. So Kind of concerned about that seller being in the way here with the volume that we have. So unless we get that big volume push to get through that level, this is probably coming back in. So just something I'm watching for here. We really need to get that volume to move through VWAP.
Here we go. I'm watching EVAX right now on a move through the VWAP here, a potential move through the VWAP.
Is that where you have it as well?
I've got it at 460 here.
Yeah. Okay. Same. All right. Here we are. We're going to hit it right now.
Here we go. I've got it at 461 in the broker, so it is less than a cent spread across the two platforms.
And we just had a print of 457. Came back in. And that's probably going to be the case unless we get that big volume that we need in order to move through VWAP. SPRC is going to be halted more than it is moving. That might be. I mean, wow, look at this thing go. It just unhalted and blasted through 8. We're moving up through some other levels here. We're looking for 860 next.
Perfect.
Really big move. Very nice. Very low float, too. That's what we like to see. Yep, blasted through 8. Looking just get support from 8. No, wow, it just suddenly jettisoned all the way up to 880.
Wow.
So,
and EVAX, by the way, tried to test that 460 and backed off of it. Again, and you know what? It actually had some decent volume there, too. Not enough to get through it. Boy, that volume is really going to tell the story. That was a great call on that.
Now, SPRC, since we're right at the doorstep of that 895 level, the next area I see for resistance that I have on here for resistance are going to be 960 and $10. EVAX, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Chicago Realtor saying, any opinion on Tylenol on K-View? I would recirculate that to the group. I'll be honest, I am not a buyer at this at all. I am still looking into this on my own. I have no interest in purchasing KVUE. Zero. I'll let you know if that changes, but right now, zero interest in that. I'd throw it to the chat.
Yeah, I'm not going to, get involved in what is probably a very politically charged argument over this stock. So,
yep, there's easier stuff for me to trade.
Yeah. And this is like a big old falling knife that I don't think I'd want to catch. So call Britney Spears if you want to try to catch this knife.
Ooh, take that.
I don't think this is something I'd want to get into right now. There might be some a really good opportunity later on, but I'd wait for a bottom.
LAC here, possible move through the VWAP. This did gap up here, still holding higher by 17%. Lithium America shares trading higher on continued strength. The stock initially climbed on Tuesday after reports that the Trump officials are seeking an equity stake. GXO is going. Let me take a look at that. Let me bring that on screen here.
Logistics, huh?
Yeah, it's really, really low volume here on GXO. It did nice little curl there. We'll see if this can get back above maybe 51 and a half, 51.30. We'll see. Any news on NVNI? That was not on my list from earlier. Let me pull that up and see if we do have any news on here that might be moving this.
I'm kind of wondering with GXO if there's potentially, good movement coming with this one on any kind of trade deal or trade negotiation, because with the European Union, because this is primarily operating in the US, UK, and EU. So I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, but I don't know what news is going to move this. But being that this is a contract logistics company, that's kind of where my mind would go first in order to look for some news that's going to drive this thing.
Okay, good stuff there. By the way, NVNI, no fresh news for today. The last news was the PR from yesterday.
CPOP, new session lows. As a matter of fact, it's putting in some new lows. Let me see here. New lows of the week, I think. Yeah, low of the week. So no touch there for me. CAPR, this thing has come down and is trading just beneath its VWAP right now. I'm not sure that I even like this for a rebound here. The MACD is kind of indicating that this may go lower. If this does go lower, the next support area that I see for this one's going to be about 675.
Okay, Hey, XXII, Smoke Tuna's mentioning this. This just retook the 65 EMA. I've got the VWAP 7 cents higher. I'd really love to see some higher volume out of this. Kind of on the back burner for me at the moment.
I think what this one has going for it right now that I like is that from going to from the pre-market into the regular session, we kind of made a bit of a double bottom here. So my thought is that if we can get above this VWAP here, I think I'd be looking at $2. There are some resistance areas just above VWAP, but I think $2 is the big one. And then after that, I'd say 225, and then the pre-market high of 235. Those would be the next upside resistance areas I'd be looking at for XXII. And it's only interesting to me because we just had that, pre-market to regular session double bottom.
Yep.
I think that could be a good indication that there can be some higher prints here, but need to see the volume.
Yeah, 175 looks to be that dead drop area for me. I'd probably not keep it if it ended up breaking that to the downside.
EVAX is trying one more time for VWAP here.
Okay, we'll see if we can go. Smoke Tuna says that this can go. Really want to see that volume get us above the VWAP there.
No.
SPRC halted down. Okay, EVAX right at VWAP. It just tapped it. SPRC is halted down. Sorry, 13.
Oh, it's okay. I think SPRC has been halted for a little while. But yeah, so that unhalt might come.
You're right. That's been a 6 minutes so far. You're absolutely right about that, 13. Sorry.
No problem. It's all good. All good. But yeah, EVAX do like the way the MACD is curling. Do like that we're hitting this VWAP. Really need to see this volume expand and take out that VWAP and get us up to 5.
Yep. 13. Benny's asking if you have any thoughts on LAC.
Take a look at that.
I'm still watching EVAX here at the VWAP. I'll leave this on screen since this is the only potential setup that I see right now.
I think it's probably just a matter of how long it takes. It looks like it could get back up to 850. I don't know that I'm not confident that we'll see that soon. If you look at what on the daily chart, what the price has been doing over the past couple of days, we have been, taken off, and that's led to it being very extended to where the RSI on the daily is almost 90. So while I do think that at some point this could see 850 again, I don't know how soon that's going to be. It could be a while. So just keep that in mind because this is very extended. I expect a pullback here. And once that happens, I don't know what the trading is going to be like because we are getting a pretty weak market right now. So just keep that in mind. It could be, to answer your question, I'd say yes, maybe eventually, but not soon.
Okay. EVAX, by the way, did pop above the VWAP, pulled right back beneath it, and now it's right back on it. A battle happening here at VWAP.
Yep.
Cyril's asking, is anything on FCX after the force majeure yesterday on the mine collapse there? To me, that's a no touch at the moment. I did ask a couple of people if they could give me some more information about it. Have not heard back yet.
I think for FCX, and I agree with Ryan, this is probably something you're not going to want to touch right now. There could be support coming down around 34, but even if we do get a bounce, it could end up going right beneath it. Just keep in mind that there may be a bounce coming with this because this RSI on the daily chart has really gotten low. I think this is maybe among the lowest it's ever been. So there could be a bounce coming, but it's likely going to be short-lived if we get one.
Carlos, the dev team is on that signals lag. They're investigating that. We actually spoke about that in a product meeting yesterday.
All right, so we are getting EVAX to come back in beneath VWAP. It's looking for some support, and it wants to turn around here. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not going to make any predictions here about what happens at 440, but it seems like 440 is about the support area that we're going to want to see this hold up at.
I'll tell you what, EVAX backed off that VWAP again here.
That's what I was just referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if this holds. I've got 436 as the area that it really needs to hold here. No position on this. I scalped it once earlier today. Nothing on it right now. On this, by the way, bang.
How much time do you have left on the SPRC halt?
I don't know if I have time left. It was halted at 10:13, so it should open the next minute here. In fact, I'll put it on screen Picard style.
Make it so.
Let's go 13. Let's go. Let's go.
All right. So yeah, PEPG, man, it's kind of holding up at this 525 area, but I just do not like the way this looks, and I feel like this is going to take the next leg down to the 200 EMA. We are 7 minutes away from the 10:30 time, where we do see the volume lead the market. EVAX is trying to recapture its VWAP right now.
Yep. I'm watching that off the screen. I got SPRC on the screen in case we unhalt here. I have it marked off at 10. Oh, excuse me. That's 10:18. I beg your pardon. Oh, no.
What's up?
It was halted again. I'm misreading it. It was halted again at 10:18.
Okay.
It's 23. So I think we got another 5 minutes here on S. No, it was a 5-minute halt. Oh, see, I'm glad I left it up there. This is open now. Let's see where this goes next. Benny, you're welcome. We appreciate the tip. You're the man.
Hey,
Lion saying FCX will bounce back, but Lion, where's the entry point? What does the charts tell you about where the entry point is for FCX? That I have no doubt that it's going to come back. I don't know how long with the mine collapse though, and with the, you know, everything that might get paid out for penalties and all of that. Let me know what level you like it at.
Wiss is mentioning XXII. That just had a breakthrough VWAP, coming up to some resistance from the pre-market at $2.
EVAX right here at the 9 EMA. It is holding it so far.
If XXII comes up through $2 again, there's some resistance, between 205 and 208. There's a resistance level that's going all the way back up here. I don't know which one's it's gonna actually have a tough time with, but there are sellers in the way starting at 210 and every 5 cents up after that.
Okay, XXII tuna was right. Yo, do we need a shirt that says tuna was right? I think so, right? Tuna was right with the big fish flopping out of the water. I feel like that would be awesome. Here is XXII. That did break that 189. We went to VWAP. The volume did expand. We're now pushing away from that. No trade on this one for me, XXII, but that was a good call. You know what? We'll register ring that. And I know several of you have asked about IDAI. So I know it was kind of disappointing, folks, especially if you were adding on that pop. We told you not to do that, but if you didn't listen to us, I understand that you're disappointed. Here's one of the things that we think about IDAI. We expect there to be more news coming. The PR that we got yesterday kind of felt like a prep PR where you should expect more news flow. Frankly, when this thing came back in, I was actually adding in the after hours to this stock yesterday. My new average on IDAI is now 302. It was 294. So I actually bought this a little bit higher. I believe that this trade is working, but understand it might take some time for that news to roll out here. IDAI curling a little bit higher here today. 33 Lion, thank you. I had asked you to give me a level there for FCX. $33 looks to be the level. Awesome. And as far as IDAI, you're saying we did get some more news here today. Not surprised. Here we go. Trust Stamp reaches 100 financial institution customers and reports 95% and a 300% increase in transaction volume from banking on insurance institutions. We talked about this the other day. We said they have a bank product that is likely to proliferate into other banks, and here we go today. Let's go. God, that ad in the after hours was so good yesterday.
It doesn't seem like that's getting noticed yet.
No, it does not.
All right, well, I'm looking around here. It seems like GXO, that is moving slowly, but it's still trading higher. Got as high as 51.34 before we started trading a little bit sideways here. XXII, it's continuing higher. 205, hitting that spot right now. The next one I see after that, we've got 210 and then 215 next.
Cyril says, I like those TA Thursday guys. 13 is bond though. Look, guys, when we bring on guests, when we bring on new segments, when we expand the show, it is all about adding new tools to the toolbox. I can tell you right now, 13 ain't going anywhere. And Cyril, you're going to continue to get both Continue to get both. We only move forward here. There is no going, like the Johnny Walker. What's the Johnny Walker, the Scotch? Keep walking, right? We keep walking and we keep doing it forward here. That's what we're going to do.
I appreciate the love, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. 13's not going anywhere, folks. Nowhere except maybe into some trades here. SPRC looks like so far this is really kind of battling here with that 850.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we haven't really closed above 8 yet, despite trading above it. So that's kind of the level we need to capture right now if we're going to go any higher. Otherwise, we might start to get weak here. So EVAX at the 440 spot right now. We need to see this turn around here, I think. Right
Sustainably traded tuna. That would actually go on the shirt, Webcoin. That would be like the subtext under the graphic. That's so good. Tuna, I hope that you don't mind that we're having laughs. I don't want to say at your expense, but maybe with you.
Yeah, we're licensing your name to laugh at.
That's right. 13. Oh, that's good stuff here.
It's like I said with XXII, there's like sellers in the way at every 5-cent increment up. So far, we are just kind of getting that right now. We went from 2 to 205. That's where resistance is now. There's a seller in the way at 210. We take them out. Guess what we're dealing with next? 215. And I just don't know where all the big resistance levels are. It could be 215, but I just don't know because there's so many. It's like every 5 cents, there's this another level. Now, if we get beyond 35, I have to look at a different day because we're going to be at the higher than the pre-market.
Selena, I love that name. Any chance we can look at LASE? Yeah, as a matter of fact, we can. No fresh news here. Remember, they did have news from this Monday. We actually covered that on the Monday show. Taking a look at the chart here, though, LASE, nice steady climb today on some expanding volume. And the good news here is it actually took out yesterday's intraday high. Take a look at the 15-minute chart here. This gives us an idea of some other targets that we could look at. I got to think 530 and then probably 6.
What is this robotic trading that this is doing, LASE? Look at the price. Look at what's happening on the 5-minute. You have a red candle, 2 green candles, a red candle, 2 green candles, a red candle, 2 green candles. We just finished a red candle. What do you think the next one's going to be green?
I think it's probably pretty good.
This is it can be silly sometimes. Now, no guarantee that this is going to be green. We might actually have reached a bit of a resistance area, but if we are going higher, 530 is the next resistance level that I have. I still have all my old levels here. 530 is next, then 555 after that. So, volume's okay when you get those big green candles, but otherwise it's just kind of like you get the sideways price action for about 10 minutes and then it pops. So don't know how long that's going to last. This could be toward the end of all this upside price action we're getting here. But meanwhile, EVAX getting a move here through VWAP.
Let's see if this one can hold or if we yank here, folks. Still think it was a better move to buy the pullbacks if you wanted to trade this name, not the breakouts.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the one.
That's what I was kind of asking. I got to find out where Peter's getting his coffee from because that guy looked like sounded like he was getting shot out of a cannon. He's got the energy. He's got the energy.
He probably got it from Colombia, if you catch my drift. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Just saying. Crocodile Dummy, I'm the one that gives the dad jokes. 13's the one that gives me strange faces when I make them.
I'm the reactor. Yeah.
Wouldn't have it any other way, by the way.
XXII hit that 215 and pull a little bit. Still don't know where this ends. 220's next area where the sellers are at. I just, I worry about this just suddenly going, okay, great, I got everything I want out of this, and then everybody just sells and it just absolutely knifes. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm not going to jump into it here.
EVAX rejected again there at the VWAP. SPRC, do we have another halt on this? Halted to the downside. You're absolutely right. All that glitters, man. This is again. I know this. I really wanted to stay away from this one. I know I hit it once early, but now I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to curl over. We do have some support that it has to go through first, but I think I'd wait until this halt happens and see where it goes. And PEPG didn't touch this one today, but it just didn't do nothing. Now let's see what happens once it hits the 200 EMA. Let's see what happens there. It might be funny and try to reverse, but
Smoke Tuna saying that EVAX is going to go now, and look at this. I swear, is he going to be right again? Is Tuna going to be right again?
To where 5? Going to take us to 5 here, EVAX?
It looks like it's actually trying to back test the VWAP after this peak above.
Yeah, this area, this is where the
here we
price
go
breaking down. So
there was size there at 475. I saw prints. They hit it. It's real, but they didn't have enough to clear it out. Smoke Tuna saying EVAX will rock it. We'll see here. Smell, you're in luck. I'm not going to be here tomorrow because I'm attending a colleague's wedding, and Kevin will be filling in for me. So you guys are going to get your dose of Kevin and 13 tomorrow, but don't despair. I'll be back on Monday.
It's going to be awesome.
Here we go. EVAX maybe back testing the VWAP now. We'll see.
Yeah, I think I'm raising my stop in EVAX just in case this doesn't work out. And I'll just look at some other ones while they're doing that. What's okay? So XXII, we did get a pop, a little bit of a pop. That's I guess we didn't. This only went to 215, maybe a little bit higher, but not really so high that we started printing 216. Now we're backing off, coming down to some support areas at 2. So we're gonna if you want more upside in this one, we've got to see 2 hold.
Okay, EVAX is now flirting with the VWAP. It actually technically lost it right there, but we're still in the same area and it's still battling. I don't think this is over just yet, folks. EVAX, EVAX.
XXII bounced off of the $2 level. Went a little bit higher back up to 205.
Yeah, I agree. I agree here with Ruby saying the sellers on EVAX are stronger. It does kind of feel like that looking at the time and sales here. EVAX knifing just above 420, called it to load. If you did, congrats. We want to see a push away from the VWAP here on EVAX. Let's see if we get that. Still battling here. I don't think it's chosen a decision yet. This might just kind of be shaking out some of the weak hands or those that bought higher trying to buy the breakout. A move on volume, a volume expansion move right now through this VWAP might actually jump it.
GXO, this low volume mover, still printing some more highs. I just don't know that I can do something that's moving so slowly. Now, there might be some resistance coming at 5160, so keep that in mind.
Here we go on EVAX. This might be the charge that we were looking for. 475, still that high. No position for me here. I already hit this once. I don't want to give back my gains. I'm just calling it for you, folks.
Yeah, we do need to get above that 475 level. Absolutely.
That one stands out like a sore thumb to me, 13.
Me too. It's going to keep the price above 450, you're saying?
Yeah, Tuna here says needs to keep that price above 450. Yeah. It's still battling with the VWAP here. I kind of like Tuna's idea because, frankly, if this dips beneath the 450, you might be able to stop there 449. I don't know that it's going to go here, but it's trying. Hey, Alexa, turn on some crazy song. Also, though, best money show on the web. We appreciate you. Come on, EVAX, get legs and break away from this. Just make sure you have a downside plan in case we don't get the breakout we're hoping for.
Got my stop in place. There's no way I'm losing on this one.
There you go. There you go. That's what I love to hear, 13. That's what I love to hear.
SPRC kind of getting a bounce at 725 after that knife that we had there. So we have unhalted, just trying to recapture, looking for 8 next. I don't know that we're going to get back above here. We might, but remember, we are past that 1030 time where volume does leave the market. So, and as it was being pointed out earlier by Lion, we might not get the breakouts or the follow through expecting. So just keep that in mind as we're trying to trade these names. We don't want anybody getting caught here.
EVAX just lost 450, but it's battling there. Still want to keep that level. Webcoin saying 484, still one of those levels above. And remember, I don't think the buy was at the VWAP here. Tuna was doing an amazing job calling out levels lower here. That was the add point. In fact, you can see it on the chart here. Really, any of these areas along the 9 and the 15 EMA would have been sufficient entry there. See if you get that pop and legs above 450. Always love a good set of legs on a stock there. Let it run. Hook that winner. Let it run.
Big B is mentioning IBM. That's up 4.6%. That's actually filling the gap. Once that gap fills, I'd be a little concerned about what happens next. Does it back off from there? Let's see. That gap fills at 281.44. We're not too far away, so we'll see what happens at 281.44. But once these gaps tend to fill, when these gaps fill, they tend to back off after that gap fill. So we'll see if that ends up happening.
Lion says Ryan and 13 are calm and we have a nice voice. I'll tell you what, if any of you folks know anyone that can get jobs in voiceover or some type of sports announcing, hook me up. Hook me up. I can do a night job after my BZ job. Just saying. Like to use my voice for things. I'll take that.
I'd like, it'd be cool to do voice acting, but
oh man, I'll tell you what.
I'll have to do my Batman animated series Joker for you. I apparently do a pretty good one.
Oh, I'm not surprised that you would do a good one. I am not surprised. And what book should Ryan if I ever got asked to read an audiobook, oh my God, I would eat that up so much. That would be so awesome. Okay, we're digressing from stocks. I don't want to do that. EVAX, by the way, holding 450. I know it's kind of jostling back and forth like it is right now, but so far it looks like it's trying to hold that. Let's see if we pop above. And I'll be right back, 13.
Okay. So we are still trying to deal with VWAP and EVAX. LASE, that hit 498 and it's kind of going sideways a little bit here, getting a little bit of a curl over here in the MACD. Not suggesting that we're going to start to go down yet, but I'd be keeping an eye on that 480 level for support. XXII, my cousin, this is still coming down off of the 215 high that it hit about 10 minutes ago, it looks like. Still not climbing. We're actually declining. And if we continue to decline, we're going to be looking at VWAP as support in that one. GXO, this also kind of went pretty close to that 5160 area that I was mentioning earlier, kind of backing off of that. So that might have also hit the high for the moment. I don't know where this is going for the rest of the regular session. It's volume's pretty low, but just keep in mind that this might come back in after hitting that high I mentioned. What else? What do you got, Brian?
I was actually just kind of looking at EVAX here. It actually looks like we might have lost that 450 here. Be careful on that. I'm also loving the comments here. 3D says, sounds good, Ryan. My comment, my voice, you'll have to let me know. Webcoin with the Seinfeld reference. I need a hand model job. I probably wouldn't pass for a hand model. I've been wrenching for a number of years. That probably wouldn't work. Michael says, get a gig before AI replaces you. AI ain't going to replace me here. The gig would just be accretive.
SPRC.
Got it. Sorry.
Hitting 8 right now, trying to get through. This is where it could potentially get rejected, but if we do manage to get through 8, we're going to be looking at 860 next. EVAX kind of just hanging out above 440. I'm going sideways here.
This SPRC, I'll tell you what, I know the volume's compressing a little bit here. This is a perfect candidate to put on the back burner for a volume pop around lunch or later. Because I think you get volume to flow in here, I think this could really take off again. I agree. Alexa, I completely agree. EVAX shaking out the weak hands. We'll see. I really don't want this to reverse trend. Let's see if we get another test and pop through that VWAP there. 3D says my voice sound. That's I've heard that a lot. I love hearing it every day.
Yeah, I see that now. Bigger B's, we got that gap fill in IBM. What's your plan from here? This is the RSI on the daily now is at 73.50. We do have that gap fill as a pretty nice looking candle we got here today. Do you prepared for any pullback or what's your plan here now? Or you just let it ride to 300? Is that the plan? Let me know, man.
As far as EVAX goes here, I'm kind of looking at this, folks, right? This parallel channel here. As long as this channel is not violated, I think Alexa's right on the money. It's probably just shaking out the weak hands that are buying at the top of the channel. So if you want to draw something like this on your chart, this might be a good guide. Here we go. It's actually starting to tick up. Retook 450. Let's see if we take the midpoint of this channel. 460 is the VWAP.
It might need 18 more minutes. That's very specific.
Yeah, he means that we sometimes curse these stocks, right? Like as soon as we get off here, bang, it'll go.
Oh, yeah.
How many times have we been looking at something in the morning where after the show's over, you're like, and the stock just went as soon as we end.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You get almost daily messages from me in Slack, like, oh, well, there that one goes.
Yep.
It happens so often. It's frustrating. All right, so EVAX still dealing with that VWAP. I'm going to look around at some of these other ones. LASE back testing that 480 level, trying to get support from that. I'm not sure it's going to continue to get that support, but with this volume, it's also looking like it might be rolling over here. So we need to see that 480 hold up. XXII got support from VWAP. It did trade beneath 2, but it has not closed beneath it, it looks like. So as long as we can stay above 2, there's still a shot that this might go higher, but I don't like the volume on this one either.
Real quick here, Samel says, I might trim some on this, maybe don't know. Honestly, not a bad idea. I'm a big fan of trimming. I'm a big fan of booking in gains when you get them. We had a nice little down move here today, and then it just sucked those shorts in. As Zach said, it is murdering those shorts here today without a doubt. Without a doubt.
All right, so Big B's, you're talking about trimming some IBM, cutting it in half, your position, and then just holding the rest for earnings, which looks to be later in October. So I think it looks like you're holding this for a month to see what happens. Now, in that time of that month where you're waiting for earnings, do you plan on adding at any levels? I'm just curious. You don't have to tell us.
And then really quickly here about you guys talking about my Australian accent. Look, I've met several people from Australia and all of them are nice. And I feel like I would be insulting them if I tried to do a really horrific accent. So I don't have a good one. If it gets better, I'll let you know. But otherwise, we're going to be respectful to our friends down under.
Yeah, I love going there. Great place to visit.
Really? You've been there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've actually never been there. I just mean meeting people here in the States that are from Australia. Interesting.
Oh, no. They're fantastic out there. Now, I know that there's a big fear about the wildlife out there.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry. I think it's not that big of a concern, especially if you have a guide. But that is a great country to visit. Love the people there. I don't know if you're still able to climb Ayers Rock, but that's one of the things that I did. Fantastic. So definitely recommend going there sometime.
Good boots on the ground stuff from 13. Oh, yeah. Zach here says, can you explain trimming a little more? Sure. Zach, let's make it easy. Let's say you grab a position of a stock, you grab 1,000 shares. It doesn't matter if it's a day trade, a swing trade, whatever. Trimming means you're selling 100 here when it goes in your favor. You're selling 100 there. Let's say you buy stock XYZ, 1,000 shares right at 10. Maybe you trim at 12 and 13 with the hopes that the stock goes to, let's say, 17 or 18. But on the way up, you're trimming to book some of those gains in case you get a pullback. You've already booked some. Your risk now has been lowered, and hopefully you can still escape with a profit if the trade goes against you. The exact same type of thing works for day trading, right? Like, for example, on EVAX, if you bought down here at the 65 EMA test that we got right out of the open when this thing started to turn around, I think selling into these up moves not a terrible idea because look what we're getting right now. EVAX now breaking out of the bottom of this parallel channel that has been in an uptrend for us. We want to see this recapture the bottom end of this channel really soon. Otherwise, we're probably going to go ahead and test 413 again.
Oh, that's cool, Jabra. That's a cool story. You have to give us a little bit more on that because that's pretty cool. Now, which Batman
owns
is
the house
one?
that Michael Keaton stayed in when he shot Batman? That's like celebrity type stuff.
Is this like the original Batman, the first one, or are we like talking? Are we talking Returns or that recent one that we just had with the Flash? That's cool, though. That's really awesome stuff.
Yeah, it is actually pretty sick. Evax, Smoke Tuna saying this is at another load area. You know, it's still, dare I say it, but it's still like, if you look back to this opening low, we still have higher lows. Again, no position for me. I'm out on this one already. 2 scalps. I'm actually 3 for 3 here today.
Look at PEPG starting to curl up
Okay,
here.
got it.
It's the volume's not great, so I'm not expecting fireworks from this one, but it is starting to turn back up. Got a big seller in the way at 225, but 525. But if I manage to get through that, then this thing looks like it could get at least back up to 560. So just something to watch for if you're looking, for something that may provide a trade here. SPRC, that's kind of going sideways right now, looking to recapture 8 still. CPOP might have found some support down at 120, but I need to see more than just one green candle, because it seems like every time a green candle appears on this chart, it's met by 3 red ones. So I'd be patient or just move on from CPOP if you're looking for something to trade. LASD getting support from 480. Sorry.
Ondas, by the way, 770 break. That was the high impulse move on the absolute beast mode move that it made earlier. We are above that going north. FO. This was called by Tuna earlier. I don't think I got to it. This actually did a really good job of back testing the 9 EMA. We held, we moved higher. I still think Tuna's going to get his 30 test here. We'll see.
So Jabara says that it's the original Batman. He used to sell guns when it was legal, and he's as a sugarcane farmer. That's awesome stuff. I appreciate you sharing that with us, Jabara.
I love cool stories like that. Like, I'm a sucker for that stuff. I am a sucker for that stuff, no doubt. Evax here. So despite that little pull, it actually recaptured the bottom end of that channel. I almost can't believe it. I don't think this is done yet.
Just kind of looking around here. And what's interesting is that in light of that situation with FCX, it seems like the I guess we'll call it a junkie name, NAK, the one that is kind of waiting on the courts to handle the EPA decision. This one getting a bit of a lift in light of that news. So, and this doesn't even have mining operations, and it's not going to have mining operations for a long time. But I thought it was just worth mentioning since it had a big move yesterday off that news.
LEU, Jay with an absolutely correct comment here. LEU, some critical minerals, they're better than others. LEU, MP, massive reversals. Look at the reversal on LEU. Shame on me, Jay. I'll take -1 points for this. I definitely should have been on this one. We talked about this thing losing 300. We actually had a trend line on here. If I'm not mistaken, let me go to the daily. Yeah, we had a trend line that this thing effectively backtest and bounce. We're right back on the highs here. On LEU, you're exactly right with that massive reversal. You also mentioned MP here. We'll take a quick look at that as well. MP, very similar type reversal on extreme volume. This back up at the highs. Jay, really good stuff.
All right. Yeah, EVEX for moving, no one's looking. Exactly. That's.
I'll take it off the screen. The show will end, and look at this. Yep. It's trying. You can't even make this shit up, I swear. You cannot even make it up. Like, if you wrote this and turned it in, they'd be like, this is not believable. Throw this in the circular file. And then here it is, happening every day. Here we go on EVAX.
I'm reading what you're saying, Big Bees, and I like what you're saying here. I still think that if before we hit 300 or 310, we may see that pullback first, or that a little bit of a corrective move ahead of that. So just kind of something I'm thinking about. I don't know what your thought is, your plan is for that, but it seems like we are going to get some weakness here in the tech sector before we get that.
Yo, I love this. Alexa, you are en fuego today. You should write your own playbook for starting traders with input from 13 and the rest of your colleagues. Things like options. I'm assuming you're meaning like day trading and swing trading and other things as well. This would actually be a really good side project to do, 13. I would love to collaborate with you on that. The one thing that I will say here as well, I know it's not exactly the same thing, but check this out. In Pro, we actually got asked for a guidebook on how to use Pro, and I just sat down over the course of 2 days and completely built this. Check this out. Can I share this tab instead? So I've actually had experience doing stuff like this, graphics, different like help, explainers, how to do things. I could totally do this, Alexa. That's not a bad idea at all. 13, we might be talking about that pretty soon. Thank you for the feedback. And folks, one thing that I want to mention here, thank you, producer, for doing this earlier, but feedback, you can always give us feedback. Simply email shows@benzinga.com. I'll throw it in the chat here, shows@benzinga.com. Give us your feedback. What do you like? What don't you like? Any of that stuff. This is how Benzinga has worked even before I got here. We create things, we improve things based on customer demand. Just saying. Don't forget, we listen.
Still getting some turnaround here in PEPG. It's just very slow.
Got it.
And look at this. So far, CPOP still kind of holding that same pattern for the time being of 3 red candles following a green one. We'll see if this candle that we got right here is going to end up closing red, and then we might get 2 more. So just something to watch here with CPOP. It's kind of had a pattern there. XXII still above $2, but just barely. It's having a hard time recapturing 210. Okay, what else do we have going on here? SPRC still halted to the downside near VWAP. I'm not sure about this. This might come in beneath 670 when it opens.
Okay. Ryan, your guys' unique selling point is that you guys approach it at a human level and not like an uptight pro. So you connect with us retail traders. That's because I started as a retail trader just like you folks. So I knew what worked for me and what didn't work for me. And what I said when I got put in a position where I was talking to others, I said, just help them do the stuff that worked for you. Don't do the stuff that wasn't helpful for you, and listen to the feedback. And that's how we've got to where we're at now. That's good stuff. Good stuff.
Tennis is life. I like you. Thanks for the comment, man. XXII maybe does not have what it takes to smoke tennis. You know, the volume just doesn't seem like it's really there right now. But you know, the levels are still apply. You know, every 5 cents there's some seller in a way trying to prevent it from going higher. So from here, you know, $2, $2.05, $2.10, all things to all levels to watch for. EVAX still trying to push higher here, trying to get back above VWAP. Maybe it's waiting for us to end the show. No, I appreciate it, Big Bees. KTOS is moving up nicely. Good day for drones. I haven't looked at many of the drones. How is ONDS doing really well? Yeah. What was the news on that?
There was no news. There was no fresh news here today. It just looked really rough. We had the market selling off early in the pre-market. It sold off out of the open. Ondas followed suit. But not long after that, buyers came in furiously. They crushed those shorts that were loading them at the lows, continued to trade higher here. It's actually green, did a nice, powerful red to green move. We're holding higher here by 4%.
It's not this PR from this morning about use of drones for land surveying and mapping reaching new levels, becoming a $1 billion opportunity.
I didn't see any news for it. Let me check it here again. Maybe I missed something. I'm looking at my broker. It's got nothing here for 9/25.
No, 9/15. It's from PR News.
No, not the date, 9/25.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, look at that.
You're right.
So my broker didn't give me news that Pro has. How about that? It's almost like all of this stuff that we've been saying about how good Benzinga Pro is coming true. And you know how many times I've heard, well, my broker has news. Why do I need to pay you? Because you don't have all of it. Thank you, 13, for bringing this to me. It looks like a lot of the drone stocks probably responding to this.
Yeah, they specifically named drone companies in this this PR. So ZENA, RCAT, ONDS, SPAI, and UMAC.
Oh, yeah. Those are ones that we look at regularly.
And I'm sure they're all doing pretty well this morning.
They are. Nice reversals in those names.
SPRC holding around 7. Nice. Hey, thank you, Edwards. I almost mentioned that, said your name incorrectly, but thank you. What was the news, 13? It was just, I mentioned it. It was just that this PR coming out from Market News Updates about how there's a big opportunity here with drones as far as using it for land surveying and mapping. It could, it's going to be, we've talked about this with some of the space companies, like PL does this kind of thing too, but from space. You're going to see a lot of mapping and surveillance of different land elevations, and it's going to help farmers with soil moisture and all different kinds of things like that. So there's a lot of data that can be used from all these different companies that are going to be used in the drone and imaging and from space. So just that's you have Pro, Izzy? I mean, if you don't, probably a good time to get it, since there's some news coming out here.
Bro, we would, and I've like resisted saying this, but since you just broke the dam down, I'm just going to do it, even if it embarrasses me or embarrasses Izzy. Izzy, I'm sorry ahead of time. Izzy, we would love to have some of your stock input on Happy Hour. We would love you too. I mean, there's just and there's nothing I can do about that. Like, Happy Hour is for Pro members. You have to be a Pro member. Period. End of story. It's not changing. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying those discussions, all that stuff would be good. All of it. Might be a little tough for Tuna as he's in France. All right, SPRC, this is pulling to the VWAP. We'll see if it holds. EVAX getting a mention here. What did we do? Did we get back in there? We're still in that channel. We haven't gone through the VWAP yet. That's next here. Yeah, see, Joe, here you go. Thank you. The drone news is not on your trading. It's probably because you're not getting PRs on that. You're probably only getting like aggregated news, and I don't know how TradingView does it. I'm not going to disparage another company, but I don't know how they do it or whatever, but I'm just telling you, the whole reason I went to Pro before I even worked here was because I was like, I need a newswire that gives me everything, and it needs to be reliable, and Pro was it.
Yeah, that's kind of the big thing that really attracted me to. Of course, it was the pre-market prep when Joel and Triple D were doing it, and learned a lot from them. And then I started looking at Pro because I was looking for a platform that I could use to get more data on scans and trades and whatnot. And for a while, I was using I think it was Trade Ideas, and I found Pro Trade Ideas is great, but I found Pro to more to my liking because of the news and information that they provided, like up to the minute, second information. So that was really more helpful to me. That's why I stick with it.
Okay. All right, 13. We are just about out of time here today. I'll tell you what, with a very weak market early, we did some really great things here today. Do you have any closing words or words of wisdom for our group here today?
Well, we would have liked to see some more moving out of these names, but I think we did pretty well for the stocks that we were trading today. And we'll be back here tomorrow with Kevin. We'll be trading with him, and we'll wish Ryan to have a good vacation, and congratulations to his friend on getting married. But folks, I'll be back here tomorrow. I'll be trading with you. We'll be looking at stocks. We'll find the good movers. We'll trade them. We'll make some money. It'll be a good time. See you later, folks. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, 13, really good stuff. Thank you again for covering it. We'll be 13 and Kevin tomorrow. We really appreciate it, folks. Really good stuff here today. Appreciate each and every one of you. The calls were spicy. The action was great. And the vibes were high, and we are going to continue to do that. I will not be here tomorrow. Please be nice to 13 and Kevin tomorrow.